address top retirement concerns, including a licensed CPA, an estate planning attorney, a Social Security specialist, and more. Join us at the AquaTurf Club in Plantsville on May 14th at 6 p.m. Space is limited and reservations are required. Visit eventatjb.com to save your seat now.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Make sure that home improvement project is really worth it. Think about what you'll pay after you send that final check to your contractor.
Ongoing costs, not only in additional, let's say, utilities, but also in insurance costs.
Financial advisor Ed Jertson says ongoing expenses can turn a fun addition, like a backyard swimming pool, into a budgetary sinkhole.
Because those can run into thousands and thousands of extra dollars per year.
I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878.
It's no secret, the world is more expensive. But at Mitchell Auto Group, they have a solution. Mitchell Select. Hand-picked selection of affordable, high-quality pre-owned vehicles. Each one goes through a 150-point inspection, comes with a 12-month warranty. What does that do? It ensures reliability and peace of mind. Affordable, dependable. Mitchell Select has what you need. All you have to do is go to MitchellAutoGroup.com to explore the select inventory. Mitchell Auto Group, where value meets quality. And remember, folks, always drive safely.
Ryan Shackman here for CertaPro Painters. I don't know about you, but a fresh coat of paint makes me feel good. That's why you might want to get in touch with the folks at CertaPro Painters. And now is a good time. Ask about their spring sales event. That's 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And they can do inside, they can do outside. They did our kitchen. Man, they were timely, they were clean, and they were so respectful to everybody in our family. CertaPro Painters, by the way, independently owned and operated right here in our community. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. Again, that's Certa with a C.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! Oh, it's a blessed day, ladies and gentlemen. We got snow in April. What the heck is that about? Oh, goodness gracious. What's going on, scallywags, nutmeggers, and conversationalists? And, of course, you haters. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Thank you so much for being a part of it, folks. But let me just say it. It's official. It is official. We have begun. It is on. It is popping, as they say, in the hood. Folks, here is your chance. Get there now. Get there now. Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment
was thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican, a political rule established in the 1960s to foster party unity by discouraging public infighting. Well, WTIC 1080 will host the 11th Commandment Republican gubernatorial debate with candidates vying for the Republican nomination on April 30th, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the private event room at Stadium 15 in Farmington, Connecticut. The debate will be live on air. But if you'd like to be in the audience, you can. And you can enter a chance to win a pair of tickets by going to WTIC.com right now. Go to WTIC.com, click on More Than Contest. There are 60 winners that will win a pair of tickets. WTIC NewsTalk 1080's 11th Commandment Republican gubernatorial debate is sponsored by AARP Connecticut. That's right. It's official. If you want to go, you got to go there now. WTIC.com. Click More, click Contest, and that's how you can enter the win. You can be there live with me, Brian Shackman, Morgan Cunningham, Betsy McCoy, Ryan Fazio. TJ Duarte is going to be there as well from Future So Bright. Joey Burgoyne will be there. I'm almost positive Janine will be there. I shouldn't be saying that, but she'll be there, as well as a host of other folks from right here at WTIC who will be there live. So I hope that you will, too. Go online now to WTIC.com in order to enter. It is you and a guest who will win. One person will win 2 tickets, so you could be a guest in the audience at the 11th Commandment GOP gubernatorial debate, April 30th at Stadium 15. Anyway, we've all checked out the bowl. I can't wait for you guys to be there. I can't wait for us to do it. I know Betsy is excited. I know that Ryan is excited. In fact, both of them will be on the program in due course very, very soon to come talk about that. And they are excited to communicate with you, because that's what this campaign is all about, reaching all of you. So this will be an opportunity to share their ideas. And they're going to reach not just the audience there, but every one of our listeners who'll be able to hear it simulcast live on WTIC.com, the Odyssey app, and right here on the radio at 7 o'clock to 8:30. So I'm really, really excited to do this. And I want to thank the good people right here at WTIC for making this happen. For me, this is a dream come true. It's not like I came up with the idea of doing a debate, but it was my idea. This was my brainchild. And I mentioned it to Janine, and she was like excited immediately. You give these ideas, and she will go, let's think about it. Let's mull it. She jumped on board immediately, and that's the kind of support that she gives me. That's why I love this place. I know I've talked about it a dozen times, not a lot often. But the reason why I love WTIC, it is the most fun and most fulfilling I've ever had in this medium. I will always love radio, but I don't think I'll love it as much as I do right now. It's a possibility, but I love it a lot right now. And I love this network, and I love the folks here, everybody who's so supportive here. So good on them. So with that, we move on. Don't forget, go to WTIC.com if you want to enter. We're going to mention it every hour, and Brian's going to mention it on his show, so there'll be plenty of chances for all of you to be a part of it. I hope you will be. These things could run out fast. Who knows? Anyway, yesterday on the program, and I want to mention this too. Let me say, there are a lot of people in the radio business who never want to go over yesterday's show or last week's show. I love this medium. If you only get a chance to call Reese on the radio about a subject that you couldn't get to, like, hey, Reese, you were talking about this last week, and I wanted to mention it to you, and I wanted to give you my opinion, have at it. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, call in and tell us what you think. Don't be shy about that. I will talk about stuff that I talked about last month even, if you didn't get a chance. So always call us at 860-522-WTIC. So yesterday's program, I came up with this thing, and I wish Roseanne was here to back me up. But as I was getting ready for the show, Roseanne looked at me. She said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, I got to do an opening monologue, but there's so much that I could talk about. And I don't want to inundate people talking about Iran. I don't want to bash, this thing and that thing over and over again. I said, I need something unique. And I was like, I don't know. I just feel it. I need something different today. I wasn't feeling it. And then I said, I remembered someone sending to me a message that says, when are you going to drop Donald Trump? When are you going to stop being a member of the cult? And I said, I could use that as a bargaining chip. If you really want me to leave MAGA or try, and I've been this way before MAGA. I do that to just throw that. It's sort of like throwing mud in somebody's face because they're really, really energized and exercised about MAGA. Like I said, I guess I'm a MAGA person, but I was kind of MAGA before MAGA. But I like saying it just because it ticks them off. Anyway, so I said, if they really want me to leave MAGA and stop my support of Donald Trump, I'm willing to compromise. So yesterday, I came up with the 9 compromises. And they were really, I just literally just jumbled them all together in no particular order. And I threw a few out there just because. Here's some things that you guys can give up on the left, and I would give up my MAGA support and my support of Donald Trump. Because I know the Democrats are really tethered to some of these weird and off-the-wall things. So here are about 6 of the 9 that I said yesterday. And there's a reason why I picked 6. And you'll get it in a minute. But here's me yesterday with a sort of condensed version of the 6 of the 9 compromises that Democrats had to give up in order for me to give up MAGA. We will Oh, no, I did that wrong. I don't know how I did that. How did I do that wrong? There it is. My bad. There you go. Right there. Sorry. We will denounce MAGA. If you just make these compromises with us, we will abandon the MAGA movement and Donald Trump. We will give you everything you want. You have to denounce these things. Biological sex is a spectrum, and men can become women. You got to abandon it. If you can abandon that, we'll abandon Trump. Climate change is an existential apocalypse that justifies destroying the economy. Abandon that, we'll abandon Trump. Open borders are compassionate and have zero downside. Abandon that idea. We'll leave Trump. Defunding the police and soft on crime policies. Abandon that. Race-based policies, DEI, reparations, and affirmative actions. Admit that COVID lockdown, school closure, and vaccine mandates were based on no settled science. And those were the 6 of the 9 that I proposed. So I get home yesterday, and Roseanne and I are sitting on the couch. She has just finished watching Encanto for the 3rd time this week. It's only Monday. And I turn on my DVR'd The 5, and the second segment, Kat Timpf from The Gutfeld Show, reads this.
Democrats with 2028 dreams apparently want to treat 2020 as just one bad left-wing acid trip. Axios is reporting on how some folks who are weighing White House runs would like you to just forget many of the radical positions they took years ago. Quote, leaders and would-be leaders in the party have shifted their views on border security, DEI, crime, climate change, COVID-era lockdowns, and more, all with an eye on this year's midterms and the 2028 presidential election.
So it turns out, as a coincidence, it turns out that Axios did an article and Democrats are actually considering my compromises. They're all sitting around going, yeah, we're willing to give up some of the crazy. I have to applaud them. I do. I have to applaud them. Did they give up all? No. Of course not. They can't. But can you imagine my surprise seeing that and going, what? I was having troubles with an opening monologue, and it turns out that Axios did interviews with Democrats on key issues, on things that they were willing to forego in 2028. Here's a supercut of every one of those provided by Fox News of all of those radical positions they used to have.
The bill to form a commission to study how to do reparations. Would you sign that bill?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
Of course I would sign it. I would.
Yes, I would.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
A hierarchy of values in this country that diminishes certain people based on their color of the skin.
We are over-policed as a society, that we are investing in police, which is not solving problems, but making them worse.
We made it the law of our land to provide college financial aid to transgender students.
So I ran the numbers on my 9 compromises. Where are Democrats now on changing their position? But folks, pay very close attention. There is something to note here. What I'm about to read in all of this sums up something really crazy. It kind of brings back this Nick Cannon argument about the 1960s. I'll make that point in a second, but listen closely. So what are the things that, according to the Axios article, the things that they were willing to give up, and then the others that not so much? Biological sex as a spectrum. Men can become women, trans ideology, kids, sports, and pronouns. They say mostly, but they're not dropping it. Potential 2028 contenders are dodging like crazy when Axios quizzed nearly 20 of them, these including Kamala Harris, AOC, Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, and Cory Booker. They refused to answer basic questions on puberty blockers for minors, males and girls sports, or whether a man can become a woman. Josh Shapiro says that trans youth do not deserve an unfair advantage in sports, but still Pritzker defends trans kids as a core value. This is the one they are most scared to touch. Polls show voters reject it, but the base and activists won't let them. They fully abandoned the delusion that feelings trumps chromosomes for child safety. The open border argument. Yes, they are willing to drop that. They are going to compromise. Nearly all political candidates, or all potential candidates, now criticize Biden's border chaos. They emphasize securing the southern border and distance from 2020 calls to decriminalize illegal crossings. Even Kamala Harris herself has flipped on when she ran in 2024, which means that even she thinks the border needs to be closed and secured, and Biden failed on it. On defunding the police, they're running from it fast, according to Axios. Senior Democrats are ditching the defund rhetoric fueled by the 2020 riots and crime spikes. Examples include New York City candidates walking back support. Instead, they're touting more law enforcement funding. That's weird. Climate change and apocalypse justifying economy-wrecking policies. They only partially dropped that, but they wish to tone it down. They're shifting from the Green New Deal fantasies and fracking bans. Kamala Harris reversed her 2020 support to talking about bringing down utility rates instead of $1 trillion green spending. Race-based policies like DEI and purity tests and cancel culture. They are criticizing the excesses. Top Dems slam Trump's dismantling of DEI, but aren't rushing to restore it or expand it. Pete Buttigieg mocked overly woke diversity trainings as Portlandia. Cory Booker wrote against canceling anyone who fails a purity test. Newsom pushes culturally normal language. He claims no one in his office used the term Latinx, even though he promoted it in California. Late-term abortion as health care. They're not mentioning dropping it. They're really, really tethered to that. I knew they would be. Socialism or socialism light. No real drop. There's not highlighted in this particular article. Some talk of tax cuts in the middle for the middle class. paired with tax hikes on the rich, which again still means that they've gone to their socialist leaning. And COVID lockdowns and mandates and school closures as settled silence, they are admitting some failure. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro wrote that Democrats got the masking and vaccine mandates wrong and would handle it differently. Newsom talks culturally normal now. This is one of the clearer walkbacks. Voters hated the overreach that hurt kids and ignored natural immunity and the lab leak questions. So they're walking back a few of them. Others they cannot. Odd, huh? Odd. I come up with the 9 compromises. These people think about it. And it's funny because even further back after the election, it was I who said, and I don't know whether or not you remember, but it was I who said that the Democrats were going to have no choice but to start moving to the right. And if they didn't do that, they were going to have to go so far left that they were going to have to resort to violence. But I'll go one step further when we return. Because what this proves in this Axios article is something that may answer an age-old 1964, 1965 question about Democrats. We'll do that when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the radio.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
When your money gets tight, you have to make some tough choices. Do you pay the mortgage, pay the credit cards, or pay the IRS? For lots of people, taxes get pushed aside until the letters start, then the threats, then the action, bank levies, wage garnishments. You can stop worrying. The IRS is offering new opportunities to help you resolve your back taxes, and Guardian Tax knows how it all works. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, you may qualify to reduce your total tax debt by a very significant amount, even if you're years behind on filing. But timing matters, and so does who you trust. Guardian Tax knows the system and how to work it in your favor. They step in, deal with the IRS directly, and fight to protect what you've worked so hard to earn. In today's economy, you can't afford to lose more. Call Guardian Tax now for a free confidential consultation. 800-404-4307. 800-404-4307. Don't wait for the IRS to make the next move. Make yours first. Call now. 800-404-4307.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
2:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The UConn men's basketball team's coming home empty-handed. The Huskies dropped the national championship game to Michigan 69-63 Monday night. It's the first time UConn has lost in a championship final in 6 tries. President Trump is doubling down on his threat to Iran, warning on social media a whole civilization will die tonight if no deal is reached to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is telling its citizens to act as human shields outside of power plants. State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is containing a fuel spill. It happened earlier this morning, a rollover on I-84 westbound side in Newtown that had the area between exits 14 and 11 impacted for a time. In Middletown, police are charging a former Wesleyan student with voyeurism. Under arrest is 19-year-old Samuel Schumann. Police say he photographed over a dozen females in bathrooms on campus last fall. He is facing 31 counts in all. And a new fire chief for the Elm City. Mayor Justin Elliker swore in Daniel Coughlin for the top job today. He's got 20 years in the department, was tapped in January to replace the now retired John Alston. Coughlin's appointment was approved Monday night by the Board of Alders in New Haven. WTIC News Time 2:31. Bob Cox has the forecast.
Through the afternoon, it's partly sunny. Any lingering scattered showers should be coming to an end. And high temperatures 45 to 50. It becomes breezy, too, this afternoon with a west to northwest wind at 12 to 20 miles an hour and higher gusts. We'll see sunset occur at 7:23 this evening. And the sky becomes clear tonight. Still a bit breezy. Low temperatures dropping into the 20s. Wind speed should decrease during the pre-dawn hours. Tomorrow looks sunny with a high near 50 degrees. Clear Wednesday night, lows 26 to 32. Sunny both Thursday and Friday with highs in the 50s Thursday and 60s Friday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
46, partly sunny in Hartford. Dow's down 198. NASDAQ's down 141, and the S&P is down 27 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
When you think about it, New England is like a McDonald's big breakfast. Maine's your big main course, the hotcakes. Vermont's the maple syrup, obviously. New Hampshire's your biscuit, that country comfort. Massachusetts, sausage patty. Its name is Patty. Rhode Island's your hash browns, tiny but treasured. Oh, and Connecticut's scrambled eggs. Not sure how to explain, but trust me. All that for just $5. Get our big breakfast at McDonald's. Limited time only. Price participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Join the Hartford Symphony Orchestra April 10th through the 12th and experience Brahms' Third at the Bushnell in Hartford. From the dramatic power of Berlioz' King Lear Overture to the electrifying energy of composer and pianist Clarice Assad performing her own concerto flow, to the sweeping beauty of Brahms' Symphony No. 3, ending in a thrilling finale. Led by music director Carolyn Kwan, this is more than a concert, it's an experience. For tickets, call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Batteries Plus presents Power Ballads.
Unless you live in a cave, you need batteries. For cars, boats, and smartphones to keep life a breeze. Did you know we sell key fobs? We program them too. From lithium to 9-volt batteries up the wazoo. Batteries Plus, there's no problem too large. Batteries Plus, we're the experts in charge.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215-215. That's RULE to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Catherine Needs Coffee says that your sound clips suck. I have been trying to figure this out. And again, Catherine, I agree with you. Listen to this. I'm going to play it again. We will denounce MAGA if you just make these compromises with us. We will abandon the MAGA movement and Donald Trump. We will give you everything you want. You have to denounce these things. Does that sound okay, Roland? Or is that muffled? Sounds horrible? Is it too low or is it just muffled? See, that's the whole point. So in order to do it, I have to do it like this. I have to throw the whole audio up and it sounds like this now. We will denounce MAGA if you just make these compromises with us. We will. Yeah, we got to figure it out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. What? Go ahead. It's all right. I could, but then it wouldn't have the other effect, so to speak. You wouldn't be able to see it on the screen. That's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could just play it straight. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. It would lose part of the effect. But it doesn't matter. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. By the way, we're getting some information on a story that John Silva just covered at the bottom of the hour on the Wesleyan person. His name is Samuel Schumann. I'm going to be getting some details on that, and you are not going to believe. If it's what I'm getting so far, police officers are speaking quietly about this case. And what sources in this case are telling my source is what exactly happened in this situation where this Samuel Schumann was arrested and what exactly, like the conditions of that. I'll give you the details when I get to it. I'm rambling over here. There's no reason for that. Anyway, back to my point. The beginning of the show, I talked about how these 9 compromises I put out yesterday, it turns out that Democrats are considering them. They are trying to come way off the deep end and get back to normal. Right? They do believe that the border must be secured. They're walking away from that idea. They're partially walking away from, drag queen story hour and 3-year-olds can decide their sex. They understand it. We went too far. They're still afraid of that transgender base because they think they can be canceled and they can influence others to never support them. Whatever. But there's a bunch of others that they're considering. Climate change. They're trying to get away from that. They're not so much as supporting fossil fuels, but they're not supporting the Green New Deal and all of this alternative energy. Do you hear that, Governor Lamont? Anyway, in order to get elected, they're they're leaving all of their crazy radical positions. And as I was thinking about it last night, I said, this is par for the course for Democrats. This isn't new. This is their MO. Sometimes we forget that. And it started to creep into my head, wait a minute. This aligns itself with this whole party switch nonsense of 1964 and 65. That's what we are told over and over again, that the parties switched. Now, you ask any basic dodo bird, they think that Republicans woke up one day and say, I don't want to be a Republican no more. I's a Democrat. And Democrats woke up one morning and said, I don't want to be a Democrat no more. I's a Republican. That didn't happen. Then they've said other things. ChatGPT yesterday told me that their policies started to switch over time. And then an overwhelming number of Democrats in the South started voting for Republicans. Well, sure they did. But that's not a party switch, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not what people mean. Just because people change their votes, that's like being an independent. That's like blue Democrats or Reagan Democrats voting for Ronald Reagan during the Mondale years or the Mondale election. There were plenty of Democrats who voted for Republican. We've seen that time after time after time. No one would call that a switch, right? Nobody would. No one has ever referred to that as a party switch. What about all of the blue Obama voters who voted for Donald Trump in 2016? Nobody would say that the party switched then, would they? No. They wouldn't even say that in a meaningful way, even if a lot of Obama Democrats voted for Donald Trump. They would never say that. So to say it today is if to suggest that in 1964, 1965, that the so-called Southern strategy doesn't exist, caused the party switch. No. See, the switch is exactly what we're seeing today, where in 2020, they were all for this crazy nonsense, and now they're not. Now they're coming back to normal. Because for Democrats, it's about winning elections. Bill Clinton taught us that while he gave the eulogy to Robert C. Byrd, a Klansman. Remember what Bill Clinton said? He said that Robert C. Byrd had to join the Klan to get elected. That's what Democrats do. Democrats compromise their principles to get elected. That is par for the course for every Democrat. They will twist themselves into anything to get elected. African Americans will say that Democrats are the lesser of two evils, and they will vote against their own principle. If 74% of them are against gay marriage, they will still vote for a Democrat, even though it is against their principles. They know it. They know it. Ask them all, are you for the transgender thing? Are you for the mutilization of children? Are you for puberty blockers on teenagers? Absolutely not. Why are you voting for Democrats? That's what they want for kids. They will tell you, well, it's the lesser of two evils. What's the counter to that? What's the thing that's counter to giving puberty blockers to kids on the Republican side? What do Republicans decide? What, getting them jobs? What's the counter? What's the evil thing that Republicans are trying to do in kindergarten classes that is counter to drag queen story hour? What's the evil, nefarious thing on the opposite side? The lesser of two evils, they say. Whatever. That makes no sense. But again, this is no different. The Democrat Party is always changing. Race, slavery, segregation, and civil rights. The big realignment. Early Democrats in the 1800s, the mid-1900s, strongly pro-slavery or states' rights to protect it. Southern Democrats led secession and the Confederacy post-Civil War. They championed Jim Crow laws, segregation, poll taxes, opposed federal civil rights protections, even kept Southern white support. Many Northern Democrats tolerated or accommodated this to hold the party together. Key figures like Andrew Jackson, the Indian removal, and Woodrow Wilson, segregated federal workforces, embodied this. Shift in the 1930s and the 1960s. The New Deal era. Black voters into the Democrat coalition for economic programs, despite Southern Democrats blocking anti-lynching bills. By 1960s, Northern liberals pushed civil rights. Lyndon B. Johnson, a former segregationist, signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, with more Republican support in Congress than Democrats in some votes. This triggered the party switch, as they say. Southern conservatives gradually moved to the GOP. That's what they're trying to sell us. But their ideology switched, not who they are. Modern Democrat position: partial racial equality, affirmative action, DEI, reparations talks, and framing America as systemically racist. They downplay their own segregationist history. Robert Byrd, who became a top Democrat. Look it up. Robert Byrd was a dean of the Senate during whose administrations? Huh? He was a dean of the Senate. George W. Bush was in office. George W. Bush was a Republican. The dean of the Senate was Robert Byrd, a Democrat. He died on Obama's watch. And Obama, Clinton, and Biden all spoke at his eulogy. Federal power versus states' rights. Historical Democrats champion states' rights to allow slavery, resist tariffs, limit national banks, oppose strong central government as tyranny. By the post-1930s, they shifted, embraced big federal programs. The big switch was the Democrats and their policy. This is who they are. This is who they are. They switched to get elected. Many of you will probably look at that and say, well, they moderated or they adapted. No. No. They always are who they are. The parties didn't switch. The Democrats did. That's all they did. That's all they ever do. They're doing it now. And people are looking at them going, what are we supposed to do? If they abandon the LGBTQ community, what are they going to do? If Democrats continue to get elected, remember, that's how it works. If Democrats can win an election without the LGBTQ community, they're done. They're done. They will vanish because no one will need them. If you think I'm kidding, try this on for size. I'll make this point. Whom did Democrats throw the most money, support politically, and even risk their lives for in the last 2-3 years? Who have they done it? Has it been the African-American community? Remember, it used to be all about George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. Now, nothing. Nothing. It's about illegal immigrants. All of their weight is behind them. Even Chris Murphy said it. The most important people that we care about, undocumented immigrants. They used to be so pro-black. Martin Looney, Matt Lesser, cutting off funding to a predominantly black and brown charter school. You're no use to them. They told black ICE agents in the street, they called them the N-word because they were working for ICE. Screaming and cursing them, calling them the N-word. White people, Democrats, seeing African Americans, myself even, I cannot believe you're a Republican. Yeah. They always switch back. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4600. 4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Don't forget, stand by. In the next hour, we're going to break down for you how you could be a part of the 11th Commandment Republican gubernatorial debate with candidates Betsy McCoy and Ryan Fazio, hosted by WTIC and the AARP. So stand by for that and how you can do that. Today we have a guest. Speaking of the gubernatorial debate, we have Linda Szynkowicz for FightVoterFraud.org. Will be here. She'll sit right across from me on the program today. She's got plenty of stuff to advise you about and give you updates on as it relates to the lawsuit, the DOJ, and the Secretary of State. You may remember the Secretary of State gave a press conference with the governor, Lamont, about the Save America Act. We'll talk to Linda about that as well. And, of course, the coverage of that in the, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. There isn't a lot of talk about that. I will say this, that there were people who got the impression that Democrats are now finally going to abandon the dime return or redeemable bottles in can thing in Connecticut. It was just like, oh, it was a failure. We have to drop it. The dime was too much. We're going to bring it back to a nickel. No. Do not let them fool you. They got caught with egg on their face with the whole 1,000 cans with the photo ID. They ended up looking stupid, asking for people to show a personal ID to redeem cans while they stand opposed to voter ID. That's why it happened. Don't let any of these people fool you. And it's ridiculous to suggest otherwise. I couldn't believe it happened, but there it was with the craziness. Where are the blacks in this administration? I don't know. I don't even care. What does that even mean? Someone, Donald's in the chat room asking me about where are the blacks in this administration. You know, did I tell you guys about that conversation I had with Brian Shackman when we were doing the election, that election night coverage, for the general, Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. He and I were talking about Kamala Harris being a person of color. And I asked him, what does that mean? And he was like, well, she's a person of color. And I was just like, yeah, I know. I know she's a person of color. But what does it mean? Like, what does that mean? And I don't know, maybe he was confused by the question, and I know a lot of, and this is a white thing, that people are confused when they start talking about a person of color, and then I respond to them, okay, what does that mean? And they go, well, isn't that important? And I go, I'm not sure why. And they go, well, it's a person of color. And I was like, okay, yes, I get it. It's a person has color on their skin. What does this mean? And I think that they're nervous because they're backed into a wall. That they don't know what it means. They only know that they're supposed to champion it. Like, that's supposed to be a good thing. Okay, why? Because they're a color. And does the color give them special powers? Like, does being black give me a particular insight that is smarter than anyone else? Like, does my blackness give me a point of view that is, like, I don't understand. Why is this, tell me why this is special. And they go, well, I don't know. So then why is it important? Like, why do you think it should be important to me? Like, do you think I'm looking at everything from the lens of, do you think I'm running around counting Negroes? Is that what you think I do when I look at stuff? Do you think I walk into a McDonald's and I go, where are all the blacks? Do you think I call a plumber to fix my sink, and when he walks in I go, how many blacks you got working for you? When a landscaper comes to do my lawn, do you think I look around and say, like, how many are Mexican versus Guatemalan? Do you think that's how I live my life? Like, do you live your life that way? Do you only do business that have 12% African Americans working for them? Like, no. You only care about that stuff because you think I do. And people who do care about that stuff can never answer anything further than, so why? Like, why is that important? Well, because we need people who look different. Why? Like, why? Again, they're never going to be able to tell you. They can't. They can't tell you. No one thought that far. They think it's just that simple. Well, because we want it. That's it. They just want it. And I say no. If a white guy comes in here and he's a better host than I am, get rid of me. If you think he's better and you love him, I got to go. Or step it up. That's the way it should be. It's really stupid. Just can't. Maybe I can. Maybe it's me. Anyway, we got to take a break. When we come back, more news, more views. Dr. Leslie Torres Garcia. Remember her? Did she ruin Hartford schools? Short answer, yes. And we have the evidence. $70 million. Here's John Silva. He's in the WTIC newsroom.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
3 o'clock Hartford temperature 47 degrees. We'll have the clouds, occasional sun for the rest of the afternoon. We'll make a run at the low 50s today. All the forecast details coming up. A pair of malfunctioning fire hydrants hampered Waterbury firefighters' efforts to put out an early morning house fire. A home on Bennett Street and 2 vehicles sustained significant damage. Fire Chief Javier Lopez explains what happened.
We had to go get a hydrant that was on a different main. Since we tried the first hydrant, We found insufficient water pressure on that hydrant. We thought that maybe there was something wrong with that hydrant. We checked the next available hydrant on the same main and verified that was not the issue. The issue was with pressure in that line. So then we went to a different water source.
The firefighters were forced to lay hundreds of yards of extra hose connected to hydrants on Fairfield Avenue. No injuries were reported. Mayor Paul Torres-Rodriquez says due to insufficient water pressure, firefighters were delayed by about 20 minutes. He says the hydrants hadn't been tested in over a decade, but they are working to change that. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning that, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight, ahead of his deadline with Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz.
Those Iranians who so desperately want to see change, who so desperately want this leadership to be removed, are now seeing this as a war on them. We've been speaking to some of them, trying to get in touch with them, but we have to remember that Iran has been under an almost complete internet blackout. So while it's very difficult to gauge the opinion of Iranians on the ground, there's an awful lot of fear and there's an awful lot of uncertainty as that deadline looms.
That's correspondent Imtiaz Tayyab in Doha. Now that the crew of Artemis 2 have completed their journey around the far side of the moon, they have 3 days until re-entry into the Pacific Ocean. Bill Harwood is a CBS News space consultant.
They're going to brief the scientists later, talking about the observations they made. They're going to start packing up that capsule because if you've seen all the video of the crew inside, it's fairly cramped. And then for re-entry day, which is Friday, they're going to hit the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour.
Middletown police are charging a former Wesleyan University student with over 24 counts of voyeurism stemming from incidents they say occurred on campus between last September and October. Under arrest is 19-year-old Samuel Schumann of Brooklyn, New York. Investigators were alerted to the alleged incidents by university officials. Police obtained a warrant charging Schumann with 31 counts of voyeurism in all. Detectives say 19 Wesleyan female students were secretly recorded in campus bathrooms. According to police, it took about 2 months to track down Schumann, who voluntarily turned himself in. He's now free on a $100,000 bond. Fire danger across Connecticut is high today. That according to the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. That has state fire officials warning people to how to prevent forest fires from starting during windy and dry spring conditions. This is State Forester Chris Martin.
Don't throw, cigarette butts out the window of your car. When you see a fire in a highway median, chances are that's what that's from. Outdoor cooking, even a charcoal grill should not be left unattended if hot. And if you have a campfire and you're leaving the area, if you're camping, make sure it's cool to the touch.
Martin also advises people to follow their local burn ordinances in their cities and towns. South Carolina women's basketball coach Dawn Staley wants to put her flap with UConn's Gino Auriemma behind her. Staley says she has since spoken to Auriemma following their dust-up at the end of the Gamecocks' 62-48 win over the Huskies in the national semifinal last Friday. Apparently started when Auriemma became frustrated over a perceived lack of a pregame handshake and carried over to the end of the game. Auriemma issued an apology thereafter, and now Staley, in a statement, says she had spoken to him, adding, "One moment does not define a career." Staley adds that she is asking everyone to turn the page and focus on growing the game. WTIC News Time is 3:04. Checking traffic. Not looking at any major issues to report. Most of the road work should be getting underway soon, although we, as I say that, we see a crash has popped up in Hartford. It's 84 eastbound between exits 48 and 49. Looks like the right lane is taken out as a result of that. We've got volume delays in the Hartford area, eastbound on 84 out of West Hartford between exits 44 and 51. Leftover road work on 91 southbound between exits 40 and 36 in Windsor Locks. That should be off on the shoulder, and still some leftover work. Should be wrapping up soon in Plainville on 72 west in the right lane. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Windy the rest of this afternoon. The clouds and occasional sunshine along with a passing shower or two. High 52 degrees. Still breezy through early tonight. Otherwise tonight clear to at times partly cloudy and colder. Bundle up. It'll feel like winter again with a low of 26 degrees. Tomorrow, bright and sunny. Remaining cool, but not as windy as today. High 52. Clear, cold weather tomorrow night. Low 29. So again, most areas will drop below freezing. Temperatures will begin to moderate starting with Thursday. Mostly sunny and breezy. High 57. Breezy and warmer on Friday. Sunshine mixing with some clouds. Friday's high reaching 68 degrees. Heading into the weekend, breezy on Saturday. Clouds to start, some sunshine. For Saturday afternoon, high 64 degrees. Sunday looks nice. Plenty of sunshine with an afternoon high of 63. Heading into next week, breezy and warmer. Partly sunny on Monday with a high up to 74 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 388 points. NASDAQ's down 227. And the S&P is off 51 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Want to hear a shocking statistic? Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. Don't believe it? Google it. And that doesn't count serious injuries like birth injuries to perfectly healthy children. All doctors wear white jackets, but it doesn't make them all the same. Most medical errors are committed by the same quacks over and over again. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Many hospitals looking for more profits are forcing doctors and their groups to be employees of the hospital or be forced out of their system. It's a troubling trend in medicine. People make mistakes, but medical mistakes are huge and often forever. If you believe your child suffered a birth injury or a misdiagnosis or mistake led to a loved one's death or injury, let our team of medical malpractice lawyers examine your case for free. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Irby Fisher. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You know, I wasn't even going to bring this up because I want to talk about the Dr. Leslie Torres-Rodriquez and the this crazy thing going on with Hartford schools now as a result of her tenure as the superintendent. We'll get into that in a second. But I'm receiving news about a story that John Silva talked about at the top of the hour and the last news break about this Samuel person who is known as Vuvu out of Brooklyn, who is at the Wesleyan College. And according to a source there, which, again, I don't get it, but they need to get their head out of their behind. If this story is true and the source is correct, they are not protecting young women at these colleges and universities. Because why would you ever think it was okay to have this co-ed bathroom in a college dorm or college facility? Ever. Will you think that people are just going to walk through? You are not protecting women and girls in this way. And according to this report that I'm getting here, the breakdown is that there are no shower curtains. It's a co-ed bathroom with no distinction. Anybody can use it. Everyone has access, be it male or female. There is no safe space. Originally, at least before this story, there was no place that was safe for women to be. But after the complaints, now they're putting up shower curtains and made women safe space bathrooms. After some bozo convinced them that they were just 82, 98, 158 genders. And that gender was some sort of social construct. And needing to and having to appeal to that nonsense, you put women at risk. And according to this, we're looking at 19 female victims identified so far that this individual violated. And for what? Why in the world would these women have to suffer through that so you guys can say we're a gender-neutral space? It doesn't make sense. And when you talk to, go talk to any one of these drag queens or the LGBTQ members of any of these groups. Go to them and say, what about these girls who were victimized? And they will look you straight in the face and say, so what? They do not care. And it's the usual case. And I learned this today, and I learned it the hard way. These radical leftists hate you, even those of you who support them. They hate you. Immigrants who come into the United States and take our money hate this country, and they openly admit it. I just heard it today. I was talking to someone for about, 30, 40 minutes, and they finally just admitted it. I, of course, had to be smart enough to ask, you really don't like this country. You really hate it. Like, you think that, I'll put it this way. I told the individual that I didn't live with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was homeless as a teenager. You know what they responded by saying? You were homeless in the most prosperous country in the world. And just took that as just dismissive. There are people around the globe who have less than that. You were homeless in America. And I went, what? Like, even my struggle is still too prosperous for you? My homelessness means that I even had more than the poorest. Wow, you really hate this place. Yes, they do. They hate our opulence. They hate our wealth. Even they look at the poorest among us as privileged. That's right. If you live in the ghetto on Section 8, that's right, and you have a TV in your home, flat screen, beware, they hate you more. You have a cell phone, you're even more wicked. Same thing with these LGBTQ groups. You're a woman. You're a natural biological woman. And they want your space. You are benefiting. You're privileged. They don't think you should have that. So they don't mind if you're being abused or used or violated. It means nothing to them. So what? So what? Their oppression is more important than yours. You'll get over it. So what? Yeah. That's why they didn't care. They didn't even think about it. To them, it was dismissed. It was a dismissive thing. They were like, what? And all you had to do was ask. Wait a minute. You're going to make a co-ed bathroom where there are no shower curtains and there's no distinction between man and women's spaces? Yeah, no, we're just, we're going to do what we got to do. You know? We need to make sure that there is a place for everyone on campus. Well, there's no place for me. Well, you know, who are you? Just who are you? You're privileged. You don't deserve any place space. The world has been made for you. That's where they look at you. When are you going to realize it? And the other people who are guilty about it, they're not going to be satisfied until they're violated, until they're walking down the street. Someone sees them and says, you're privileged. Boom, right in the jaw. What are you going to do? You going to cry about it? He's lashing out because he's unfortunate. I blame my privilege. That's what you're going to do, right? Why would you stand up for yourself? You already feel guilty about it. And these people are not going to stand up for you. You're going to join them. You're going to join them in destroying your own safety, removing it. I don't get it. I don't get it. When these people talk to me, when they do, they're like, you don't know what it's like in other countries. I don't care. care what it's like in other countries. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Here's why. I don't live there. I look at my country the same way I look at your home. You know, if you got a leak in your kitchen, I don't care. It's your kitchen. I'll never eat there. Unless, of course, you invite me over. But if I'm not in there, if I never visit there and it's not mine, why would I care? Do you think I wake up in the middle of the night going, whoa, man, that Johnny, man, his kitchen is a mess. I don't think I can sleep tonight. Oh, no! Absolutely not. Do not care. And Johnny doesn't care about me. Johnny doesn't care that I can't find the sugar substitute for my coffee. He doesn't give two damns. He doesn't care whether or not all the treadmills are used up when I wake up in the morning and I go to my building gym. He doesn't give two damns about that. He doesn't care that I put on some water weight over the holiday weekend. Doesn't give two damns at all. But these people who are always patting themselves on the back, look at me, I'm so compassionate. I care so much about what they're going through. And that's what they did. What did they do in caring so much about the LGBTQ community? I'm willing to risk the safety of the women who go here and give us tons of money. Tens of thousands of dollars their parents have spent to come to this facility, and I don't give two damns about their safety because the LGBTQ community need their space. And you're going to let these people run right over you every day. Every day. These poor 19 of them. 19 of them. I don't get it. And all you need it. Again, this is a classic case, right? And you can actually attach this to anything, by the way. You can attach this to anything. Right? A gun-free zone. What happens when someone who doesn't give a damn about this sign shows up with a gun? Do you think somebody with a gun, this guy, Schumann, is alleged to have not cared about safe spaces, nor cared about the well-being of those 19 girls and counting. Didn't care. Well, everybody else is changing the system around because they do. This guy allegedly walks into the place and says, hey, I get to film people, allegedly. Hey, you know what? Their tolerance is my benefit. Allegedly. But the bottom line is, that's what happened. Same thing when you put a big sign that says, we're a gun-free zone. You can feel safe here. You think the guy with the gun's going, oh, I guess there's nobody to shoot back. He's a criminal. Did you ever think about that guy? In fact, how about being a gun-free zone without having to tell everybody you're a gun-free zone? That's another thing. You're always placing your virtue right on your sleeve and on your front door, apparently. We care about science here. We care about black people here. For what? When a black person walks in, I mean, you care about us? I mean, if that's the case, what's going to happen when somebody with very, I guess, nefarious intent comes in? I've seen it, by the way. I watched a video of a black guy walk right into a Starbucks when it was really, really high on the Black Lives Matter thing, and he looked right at the white girl and said, yeah, I want my free coffee. What do you think the girl did? Come on. What do you think she did? She gave him a free coffee, of course. And he went back there for a week. And people who don't care, while you are running around trying to prove to everybody how much you do. And that's why when they ask me, don't you care about that? No! Don't you care about it? No, not one bit. How do you sleep at night? Like a baby. Sleep easily. No one ever put me in charge of making everybody feel better. It's not my job. And these people, they will literally, and not only, the worst part is, I don't even really think they care. I think they just want to brag about caring. I think at the end of the day, they go on about their business. But when they get around everybody else, they tell me, but I care about that. So what you care? What does that even mean? Well, I care about it. Okay, what are you doing about it? Well, I'm caring about it. I'm sorry. Forgot. Is that it? Yes, I'm caring about it. Is that not enough? My bad. Didn't know that. 19 victims and counting. You can damn well bet there are going to be more. And again, if these sources are exact, according to this, they put up shower curtains and made women safe space bathrooms after they learned that this guy was gaming the system. A system that they put in place. They thought there was no need for barriers. They thought there were no need to protect these women from predators. Or in this case, allegedly this one. Everybody's free to be you and me. And this happens. And they get caught with egg on their face. Worst part is that what does Wesleyan do behind it? And I'll call them. And in fact, I'll even ask, because I know they put out this press release, but I want to go one step further. Right? The one step further is, why was this allowed? Why was this lane opened up for someone to do this? Why did you have to revert back to safe spaces for girls? Whose stupid idea was it that allowed this to happen? And would there be any accountability? Should these 19 girls or women in counting sue the school? I think they should. I think they should sue them for all they're worth. I think they should take every bit, every dime from this school for putting them at risk. Wesleyan, yep. I think that this should destroy the school. And it should. Because you have to send a message to the rest of these folks that this woke nonsense is hurting people. Let me see. I don't know what that is. Let me see. 1972, H&H or New Hampshire had co-ed bathroom with a bidet. Times were real different back then, Ned said. They should. Even Donald says they should file a lawsuit. Of course they should. Bond is not enough. He should have jail time. Yeah. Again, this is exactly why when you hear stuff like this, as soon as you hear it, I would be the person who would find an individual and I'll go, yep, you know what? Those people are setting themselves up for a lawsuit. Get ready. Get ready. But for them, it's just a PR campaign, right? They get written up in all the newspapers. They end up in the New York Times and the Washington Post. They get this great feature. Everybody stands out in front of the bathroom, thumbs up. Yay! And then the issue happens and you can't even get in contact with the reporter, right? Story like this happens. Can't find the reporter who is yay before. It's like, hey, we got a scandal that happened in the bathroom that you wrote an exclusive piece on. Do you think you want to come back and follow up? No, we got a cat stuck in a tree in Baltimore. Yeah, we got to cover that. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. They will ignore them. So we'll follow this and we'll get, and I'm hoping because Adam 12 is probably going to work on it. If you can get a quote from any of these guys on exactly who is responsible for doing this or if Wesleyan is trying to clean this up, I want to know. What do you got, Roland?
Just that's a prestigious school or university. Shouldn't they have like dorms with their own bathrooms? Or like
yes.
When I was in University of New Orleans, we had suite mates. So it was a bathroom in the middle, and there was two guys on the left and two guys on the right, and us four shared the bathroom in the middle, and that's how they set up the whole floor. So it's like 4, 4, 4, 4 with a bathroom in the middle of each four, and it was inside your room, so you didn't have to like walk outside with a towel, walk down the hallway, and go and take a shower. It wasn't nothing crazy like that.
I remember dorms when they used to. They had this sort of one bathroom because usually they were in houses, so it was one central, just a bathroom like in any other house. And they had all the rooms set up with all the roommates, fraternities, and sororities, things like that. That's always the case. But yeah, that's a smart like building model to have each dorm to have its own or sort of like an adjacent kind of deal. That's a brilliant way to do it. But this was, I don't know what this was or where this was. I can only imagine that someone at the school was like, yeah, we're pro-LGBTQ trans and, everybody can use the bathroom. There's no gender here.
I really hope that's not the case.
Why would it? I don't see how it wouldn't have been. I don't see. It's Wesleyan. This is an incredibly liberal school.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredibly liberal school. I dated a girl who graduated from there, and went to the campus and hung out there back in the mid-'90s.
Yeah, I've been to the campus a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's an incredibly liberal school. Chris Murphy is getting an honorary degree at Wesleyan this year. That's right, he is.
God.
He will be there. I think it's worth questioning. I couldn't agree more. Ned says, devil advocate will say if there was a man and a woman's bathroom, they had a choice. Yeah, I mean, the point is, the women did not have an isolated space where they could trust the system. And they made this accessible to all genders. And that shouldn't have been the case according to what this source is saying. And the fact that they had to revert to then protect women, there's only one reason why that happened. And it's obvious. Lawsuits are coming. They know it. They know it. Mark my words. We'll see. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. Let's talk about Dr. Leslie Torres-Rodriquez when we get back. It's Reese on the radio.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. It's time. We're about to go to springtime, and the spring sales event could get you 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And Serta Pro, those folks are awesome. They're independently owned and operated right here in our community. They did my kitchen. They were there on time. The estimate was excellent, and they did, by the way, a great job. Serta Pro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at certapro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Have you ever felt like you were living just a B or B plus life? It's so dangerous to live that, more dangerous than a B minus or a C plus life, because when you're living a B or B plus life, you don't change it. You think it's good enough. Is it? I'm Susie Welch. I host a podcast called Becoming You. People think, okay, an A plus life is not available to me, but there is a way. We are all in the process of becoming ourselves. Listen to Becoming You wherever you get your podcasts.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Malfunctioning hydrants are being blamed for a delay in battling a house fire overnight in Waterbury. Officials say 2 hydrants provided insufficient pressure when firefighters arrived to attack a fire on Bennett Street. They wound up having to lay hundreds of yards of extra hose to hook up to hydrants over on Fairfield Ave. The mayor says city hydrants will be tested going forward. Mayor Paul Torres-Rodriquez says it's been a decade or more since pressure testing was conducted. There were no injuries in the fire, but the home did sustain significant damage, as did 2 vehicles that were parked in the driveway. No national championship for UConn this year. The men's basketball team fell short in Indiana Monday night, bowing to Michigan 69-63. It was UConn's first loss in a national championship tilt after 6 consecutive wins in the final. Police in North Haven have arrested a man for allegedly pointing a BB gun at kids on Monday. Officers were dispatched to Spring Road. They say 60-year-old Galen Thibodeau allegedly threatened the juveniles who were riding e-bikes. Former Wesleyan University student facing voyeurism charges. Middletown police say 19-year-old Samuel Schumann photographed over a dozen female students in bathrooms on campus last fall. He is facing 31 counts in all. The Artemis II astronauts have completed their record-breaking trip around the moon. The lunar journey comes after Artemis II surpassed Apollo 13's distance record. During the flyby, the 3 Americans and 1 Canadian were treated to never-before-seen views of the moon's far side by eye and also a solar eclipse. And used car and truck prices heading higher as consumers look to make the most of their budgets while factoring in higher gas prices and overall inflation.
Cox Automotive's Manheim Used Vehicle Value Index jumped 1.4% in March from the previous month, with used car and truck prices up 6.2% year over year to the highest level since the summer of 2023. Cox reports that dealers are seeing healthy demand, and combined with tight inventory and an unusually strong tax refund season, used vehicle sales were higher nearly every week of the first quarter compared to the same period a year earlier.
That's CBS Business reporter Jason Brooks. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Clouds and intervals of sunshine the rest of today with a gusty breeze along with a brief shower or 2. High 52. Turning out clear to partly cloudy and colder tonight. Still breezy through at least early tonight. Low 26. It'll feel like winter once again. Bright and sunny tomorrow. High 52. Clear and cold tomorrow night. Low 29. Thursday, a good deal of sunshine or breezy. Not as chilly in the afternoon. High 57. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And for these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummies. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Defense contractor RTX is best known for making Patriot air and missile defense systems and fighter jet engines. But it's also working on hybrid technology for the European Union's Clean Aviation Switch program. RTX's Collins Aerospace Division announced it started testing the electric motor drive systems for the EU with the intent of developing hybrid electric propulsion systems for future commercial aircraft. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law. Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Join the Hartford Symphony Orchestra April 10th through the 12th and experience Brahms' Third at the Bushnell in Hartford. From the dramatic power of Berlioz' King Lear Overture to the electrifying energy of composer and pianist Clarissa Saad performing her own concerto flow, to the sweeping beauty of Brahms' Symphony No. 3, ending in a thrilling finale. Led by music director Carolyn Kwan, this is more than a concert, It's an experience. For tickets, call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
How will you navigate the journey to and through retirement? Johnson Brunetti is hosting a unique, all-in-one retirement planning event for those near retirement or recently retired. You don't want to miss industry leaders coming together to address top retirement concerns, including a licensed CPA, an estate planning attorney, a Social Security specialist, and more. Join us at the AquaTurf Club in Plantsville on May 14th at 6 p.m. Space is limited and reservations are required. Visit eventatjb.com to save your seat now.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and for your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impact it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
All right, well, WFSB just put up a picture of this individual who's alleged to have taken these videos of 19 and counting, allegedly took videos or photographs of 19 women at Wesleyan. And can I explain to you exactly who people are? Let me tell you how well I understand them, okay? I'll put any amount of money this kid got into Wesleyan through some sort of DEI program. Now watch the Negroes go nuts. Watch them. Watch them. I can't believe him. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. And you know you're going to find out that I'm telling the truth. You know it. There she is. Linda Szynkowicz just walked in. You know I'm right. And watch everybody get mad about it. They'll be mad that I said it. Even though he's alleged to have committed a horrible thing, they will still care more about what I said than what he did. And I don't care. I don't care. But we'll find out. Adam, do me a favor. Adam 12, get on that, please. I need to know what school this kid came from in Brooklyn. And find out how he got there. Just want to know. That's just what I'm saying. We need to find out. Watch me be right. As I always am on these cases. Speaking of being right, Dr. Leslie Torres-Rodriguez. Big up to Mark from West Hartford on this one. Because he made the connection. As a lot of people did not. But the news media here in Connecticut is not going to. And that is, Leslie Torres is responsible for the budget deficit, or the deficit that is the Hartford school system. She wasted resources and hemorrhaged admissions at that school district in Hartford. Everything she did destroyed the Hartford school system. She was the longest tenured, and she lost students for obvious reasons. Through truancy, through poor testing, horrible proficiency, and no one held her to account. How do I know? Let's go through the numbers. The major issues that did get reported but often softened: fiscal mismanagement and deficit. Hartford faced repeated massive shortfalls, 24+ million, 36.8+ million, and 77 million projected. Even after receiving over $152 million in federal ESSER or ESSER pandemic funds. Unions accused leadership of sitting on funds and poor planning, staffing cuts, hundreds of positions, and potential school consolidations followed. Coverage noted the criticism and state audits, but Torres-Rodriguez and allies repeatedly blamed a decade of flat city funding and state aid issues, a narrative many stories echoed without aggressive scrutiny on how the district spent the temporary federal windfall, mostly on staffing, and later had to be cut. Remember the illiterate graduate scandal? Nobody laid that at her feet. Hartford public schools were on the hook for that. Everyone was more fascinated on the fact that this young lady couldn't read, and she got into UConn of all places. Not one person brought up Dr. Torres. Not one. She wasn't even a part of the story. In fact, if I remember correctly, isn't the school district still fighting for release of any documents on that case? It's still sitting, pretty much dormant at this time. Special education failures. Multiple complaints from 2020 to 2022 about mistreatment or lack of services for autistic and other special needs students. The Office of the Child Advocate documented issues. The district agreed to corrective action. Later coverage tied this to broader funding complaints, but highlighted training gaps rather than systemic leadership accountability. She was never held to account. Union and staff backlash. All 9 unions opposed extending her contract in 2024 amid the financial crisis. Dozens of grievances were filed. Teachers felt undervalued. Parents rallied for change. A former employee made serious public allegations of retaliations. We covered that story extensively here. These stories appeared in The Current, NBC Connecticut, and local TV, but were often balanced with her defenders and her claims of progress on graduation rates and community schools. Chronic absenteeism. They covered her favorably. I'll never forget it because it was one of the first times I started here about her walking through the neighborhood trying to get kids to come back to school. You remember those reports? I remember. It was a glowing puff piece on her. Look at her out there on the street stomping around, trying to get truants back into class. Doesn't matter. They all left. Over 4,000. And now they're trying something new. At $983 a pop? Is that what they're spending? No, $935 a pop. Get this. The contractor gets paid $935 for every kid they can take out of a magnet school, a school where they're doing well, and bring them back to the failing public school. A failing public school that, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, it's not only failing, it's really, really failing. Try this on for size. Your kid's going to a magnet school. Your kid is going to a charter school. Your kid has got a likelihood that they're probably going to graduate earlier, probably get into an Ivy League school, this time being able to read and write. But this kid, that kid, yours, has finally got out of the sweltering, disgusting, despicable Hartford school district and has got a chance. And then some company out of Tennessee comes in and says, hey, why don't you bring the old crumb snatcher back to our failing school? Oh, what's the incentive? Let me see over here. We have got a proficiency rate of 14 to 15% for students in the recent years. We've also got, a reading and English proficiency at 21%. Yeah, that's right. Science proficiency at 21%. Yeah, come on back to that garbage, right? Oh, and what's the incentive for you after they give the $935 to the, to the group that gets your kid back? Try this on for size. Your kid, if they're lucky, and they maintain a 3.0 grade point average and has a 93% attendance record, they will get up to $100,000 in college scholarships. Now listen close, folks. I want to go back to the earlier story. How do you think they're going to make up for that to guarantee that your kid's going to go to school? They're going to do the same thing they did to poor Alicia. They will socially graduate your kid and get them into a school. That's what they're going to do. Your kid is not going to be proficient in reading. He's not going to be proficient in math. He's not going to be proficient in anything. Your kid is going to be a dum-dum, and they will guarantee it because that's what this school system does. That's what the teachers union will do to your children. They do not care about you. They care about their money. If they really cared about your kids, they would leave your kids alone. They would leave your kids at these much more productive schools and never bring them back to the school districts that have been failing them. If anything, they would treat it like a condemned hotel in Las Vegas and blow it up. That's what they should do, and they know it. Of course they do. Or possibly just rework the whole thing. Stop feeding the ugly beast that is the teachers union. Now, I know the teachers unions will never, ever call up and fight me on it. I know that they listen to me and they get really, really angry. That guy doesn't understand unions. I'll tell you what I do understand about you. You don't care about these kids. I know you don't. And everybody knows that you don't. You've been caught on tape. I mean, even James O'Keefe, back in the early days of Project Veritas, went out to a Jersey a function where teachers that are talking about how much they hate the kids and how much they don't care about those kids graduating. I've asked plenty of inner city kids how many teachers have told them, I don't care whether or not you pass or fail, I still get a paycheck at the end of the day and my pension. Every kid will raise their hand and say, you damn right these teachers are in it. Why? Because they're untouchable. Go to New York and try to find out how long it takes to fire a teacher. 5 years. That teacher will sit in what they call a rubber room, where he actually goes out of his house to sit inside of a, classroom, where he sits there all day and still collects a paycheck. I know people who are in jail for abusing kids, and the teachers union is fighting for that convicted criminal's paycheck and their pension. Ask one person right now in the teachers union whether or not I'm lying. Ask them. Ask any one of them. I dare them. I dare one member of the teachers union to challenge me on it, because you know I'm right. Oh, the invitation is always open. But you know it's true. It's the reason why you fight so hard. The only thing you care about is you and yours and your protections. These kids are an afterthought. I'm sure that some people are sitting up there going, but Reese, there are some kids who care. There's some teachers who care. Trust me, that ends real quick as soon as they join the system. Oh, we see them all the time. I see them. We just saw two lovely young women who were at the antique shop with Roseanne and I. And Roseanne sat there as the two young ladies were telling the owner of the store, we're going to join education. And Roseanne just laughed under her breath. Poor girls. Poor kids. Boy, when they get a surprise when they get there. And they will. They all do. They get there, and they're all excited. I can't wait to teach the little ones. And then they get there, and some kid throws mashed potatoes in their face, and the dream is over. And it's always over. I'm sorry. It just is. Now, it's not that I'm saying that it isn't a noble cause. I know it's a noble cause. Of course, wanting to educate the young children to be the person that makes them who they are. It is noble. But don't do it in Hartford. Go someplace nice, like Greenwich, Darien even. But please don't come here. The hood is no good. That's right. And I need Dr. Seuss to make that up either. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. And, are the phones working now? All right, the phones have been working. If you want to call in for the next break, you can. And then we got Linda Szynkowicz from FightVoterFraud.org. She's got plenty of stuff to share with us today, so stand by for that. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh my goodness. Linda Szynkowicz is here, and she just gave me this list. Okay, whatever you do, call your friends. You don't know. You're not going to want to miss this stuff. These documents are crazy. No wonder the Secretary of State gave that press conference. This is wild of some of these numbers just in one town. Let me put it to you this way, folks, and we'll go over Linda Szynkowicz all because I don't understand most of these numbers. But Linda, let me throw your microphone up just so I can, and I'll put you on camera in a second, but just so I understand here. So what I'm looking at, grab that one. Let me give that back to you. Let me just so I can figure out exactly what I'm reading here. So you gave me a list based upon each town. So I'm looking at Andover, Ansonia, Ashford, Avon, Beacon Falls, Berlin, Bethany, all of these areas. So you gave one list about the total town of registered voters, but the line before it are voters who are inactive or who should be off the voter rolls, is what I'm seeing here. If that's right here?
That's probably what that
That's
one
probably
is.
okay.
We've got so many here.
I got you. So according to this, and I want to go over the highest number here. So in Bridgeport, the total town says 76,593. Of that list, the people who have been inactive, people who haven't voted for, and do we want to say 5 to 8 years?
5 to 8 years would be the ones that should be on the inactive list.
Okay, should be on. I'm sorry, say that one more time. Inactive list. Okay, yes. On the inactive list. In Bridgeport alone, from 76,593, the inactive list is 25,164, according to this. That's what I'm seeing here. So these are people, in essence, inactive. We don't know whether or not they are active voters or not because they haven't participated in the last, 5 to 8 years at best.
At best, yes.
Okay, we got 6 seconds. We got to go to an emergency alert system right about now.
What is it highlighted at the
Oh, and now I got 10 seconds. Now he tells me. What would you got? I'm sorry. Take that. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that in a minute. So Linda Szynkowicz is here. You want to hear this.
WTIC Radio is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Okay. I'm going to get to the bottom of that. We're going to get to the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center in a minute, but I want to go through all of this to understand it. For those of you who are very interested in this, and I know you are, you guys are strict ticks to the issue, guys, and you care about the voting here, this is important to you, so go nowhere. That's why, Linda, I'm making her a regular guest on this program. That's why I say, whenever you got news, Linda, come over here. Don't. You got open access to these airwaves. So we're going to break all of this down so you understand everything about this. Linda has been at the forefront with a host of other folks across the country. She's just going to break it down so that we all understand this. And I'm hoping, I've got so many other questions for her as well. And we'll get to the bottom of that. So stand by for that. Go nowhere. Also, later on in the program, we have to talk about Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer. Oh, boy, do I have some audio sound bites we got to go over. We'll do that shortly. All right, let's get our first check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into Hartford on the southbound side of I-91, look for slow traffic now as you move by exit 34 down to 32A and B. Westbound 84 tight up approaching the Bulkley Bridge. Up to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound is tight. 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. Looks good. 291, 384, 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge with 84 west in East Hartford. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, a little slow traffic as you move up by exit 37 on the northbound side of Route 9. Heading toward New Haven, 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
you have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Windy the rest of this afternoon. The clouds and occasional sunshine along with a passing shower or two. High 52 degrees. Still breezy through early tonight. Otherwise tonight, clear to at times partly cloudy and colder. Bundle up. It'll feel like winter again with a low of 26 degrees. Tomorrow, bright and sunny. Remaining cool, but not as windy as today. High 52. The clear, cold weather tomorrow night. Low 29. So again, most areas will drop below freezing. Temperatures will begin to moderate starting with Thursday. Mostly sunny and breezy. High 57. Breezy and warmer on Friday. Sunshine mixing with some clouds. Friday's high reaching 68 degrees. Heading into the weekend, breezy on Saturday. Clouds to start, some sunshine. For Saturday afternoon, high 64 degrees. Sunday looks nice. Plenty of sunshine with an afternoon high of 63. Heading into next week, breezy and warmer. Partly sunny on Monday with a high up to 74 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. U.S. and Israel strikes have ramped up ahead of an 8 p.m. Eastern deadline by President Trump for Iran to reach a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight, Trump's words. Pope Leo calls the statement unacceptable. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is saying Congress must immediately end this reckless war of choice, he says, before President Trump plunges us into World War III. It's time for every single Republican to put patriotic duty over party and stop the madness. Other Democrats are going even further, with some saying that President Trump's threat earlier today amounts to war crimes and genocide, adding that the U.S. military must disregard any such orders that violate federal and international law.
CBS's Liz Palmer in Tel Aviv reports Iranian officials have spoken to Reuters and responded to threats of its infrastructure being targeted.
He said if Iran's power network is targeted, that will plunge Saudi Arabia and the Gulf into darkness. In other words, that Iran would then turn its missiles on the Gulf's electricity infrastructure and everybody would suffer.
Waterbury firefighters, at a time of it putting out an early morning fire, they say they were hampered in their efforts to fight the fire on Bennett Street because of a pair of malfunctioning hydrants. The water pressure was not sufficient enough, forcing firefighters to lay hundreds of yards of extra hose to hydrants on Fairfield Avenue. Mayor Paul Pernaruski says it's been a decade or more since pressure testing was conducted.
We're going to continue to work with the fire department as we do the testing to identify hydrants that may not have sufficient flow to be able to do this, so they'll know when they get there. In this case, had they known those two hydrants weren't going to produce sufficient flow, they would have automatically gone to Fairfield or Highland Avenue. They would have had water flowing a little bit quicker.
The house and garage sustained significant damage, as did 2 vehicles, but there were no injuries. A former Wesleyan University student is facing voyeurism charges. Middletown police say 19-year-old Samuel Schumann photographed over a dozen female students in bathrooms on campus last fall. He is facing 31 counts in all. We're in the midst of Connecticut's spring wildfire season, usually from mid-March to early May, during which dry weather and windy conditions can persist. State Forester Chris Martin says despite rain, the ground is apt to become dry quickly.
Without any leaves on the trees, the sun's direct rays onto the forest floor create a 1-hour fuel situation where things such as leaf fall from last year and fine twigs can dry out within 1 hour's time.
He says human activity almost always causes wildfires, including improper disposal of smoking products, operation of machinery like chainsaws, and the improper disposal of ash from wood stoves or fireplaces. Trump administration has officially launched a fraud crackdown division. Here's correspondent Allison Keyes.
The nation now has a National Fraud Enforcement Division meant to zealously investigate and prosecute those who rip off the American people. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says,
fraudsters, scammers, tax cheats, or anyone who lies to get rich off the generosity of the American people should be on notice.
He says the Trump administration will spare no resources in giving prosecutors the tools they need to do justice. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
And an idol is coming back to Mohegan Sun Arena this summer. Billy Idol celebrating 50 years in the music business. He's bringing his It's a Nice Day to Tour Again show to Connecticut, August 8th. Idol scored in the 80s with hits like White Wedding, Dancing with Myself, and Rebel Yell, which you heard here. Tickets go on sale Friday. He last played Mohegan Sun in 2019, co-headlining a bill with Bryan Adams. Wall Street, the Dow down 85 points, NASDAQ up 21, S&P up 5. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you never quite expect. Starting a new business, getting remarried, being hurt on the job, or through personal injury. Each time, you're left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all of your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. Listen, I had an incredible experience with them. They gave me a great estimate. They were there on time, and when they came to paint our kitchen, they were in and out, and when they were gone, it was like they were never there, except they left a beautiful kitchen. Maybe it's time for you to take a look at their spring sales event. You can get 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. Serta Pro Painters, they're independently owned and operated right here in our community, so you might want to give them a call. Start spring off right. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Reese is on the radio. Here we go now. He's on the radio. One time, he's on the radio. Give it to him now. He's on the radio. We never finish 'cause the party don't stop. The way we consider politics, we on top. We flip it like sandals, except we never flop. And when we drop, you know we gon' pop. Reese is on the radio. Here we go now. Reese is on the radio. One time, come on. Reese is on the radio. Give it to him now. Reese is on the radio.
All right, top of the hour right here on Reese on the Radio. When we come back, we have got Linda Szynkowicz from FightVoterFraud.org. She's going to explain everything you need to understand about Donald Trump's executive order, about the voter rolls here in the state of Connecticut. She has a comprehensive list that you all need to know and understand. This is entirely for the wonks, because by the way, Linda, I got asked about this over the Sunday holiday, and this guy, John, who loves the show, and we spend holidays with him every year, and he goes, hey, he's a big, Italian guy. He's like, well, I got to tell you, you think Republicans are going to do well this time? And I'm like, trust me, make sure you listen to the show on Tuesday. Linda Szynkowicz coming in. He was like, well, okay, I'm going to make sure I listen. So, John, if you're listening, make sure, stick around. We got a whole bunch of stuff to get into today. I'm doing a very horrible Italian accent for him. Oh, you think it's spot on? Okay. Well, he doesn't talk like that. It's like that's my impersonation of him talking like that. It sounds like Rocky, a little bit of Sylvester Stallone. John, I love you, John. You know that. We'll get into all of that in a little bit. In fact, I'm going to call him real short to make sure he's listening. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, yo, Mark.
Hey, Sylvester, how are you? Good to hear you.
I'm doing good. I don't want to intimidate me. Don't make fun of me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Hey.
Let's go down and get a cheesesteak after I get off the air.
Absolutely. You try to humiliate me?
I could do that all day.
And the great thing is nobody has any idea what he's saying.
Exactly. It was like, Fugazi.
I caught Fugazi.
Yeah, that part you get.
Yeah, right. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound, we got delays 33 down at 32 A and B in Hartford. Westbound 84 slowing east Hartford approaching the Bulkley out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound is tied up approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. In New Haven, South 95 delays 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Windy and cool the rest of today. Clouds and occasional sun, a passing shower, the high of the upper 40s and low 50s. The wind making it feel colder and still fairly windy early tonight. Not so much late tonight, but cold overnight, partly cloudy, and a low down to 26 degrees. Bright and sunny tomorrow, another cool day, but not as windy as today. High 52, then clear. And again, cold tomorrow night, below freezing, low 29. Mostly sunny and breezy on Thursday, high 57. Warmer weather returning on Friday with a high up to 68 under a partly sunny sky. Right now, it is 45 degrees in Bristol, it's 49 in North Haven, and 47 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty, that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm.
Injured? Dial pound law. Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't let the insurance company decide how much you're worth. At Carter Mario Law Firm, you're more than just a client and more than just a quick settlement. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. The Carter Mario Law Firm's zero-fee warranty means you pay nothing unless we win. Visit getcarter.com or call 877-GET-CARTER.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code WAGON for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WAGON for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's WAGON.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Linda Szynkowicz is here. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I just said I have a little bit of a sore throat.
Oh no, that's okay. Just just move your microphone up to you, so make sure. And if I have to, I'll raise it for you. Linda Szynkowicz is here as promised from fightvoterfraud.org. Make sure you check out her website. She's got videos there. She's got a podcast, of course, that she does talking about voter fraud. This is her life, her passion. It's what she does because she's trying to get it right. And to make sure that we get the election that we deserve based upon real results and real votes, for that matter. And this is it's more than a labor of love. For this is a lifelong fight for you. No?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's going on 8 years.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the executive order, because a lot of people didn't understand what Donald Trump did in that executive order and why it's important, especially to a state like Connecticut.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you, when I first read it, I was like, oh, it's not what I expected.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of other information that's supposed to be coming out. And then after I read it, I was like, oh, my God, he is absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
We have a commander-in-chief that knows exactly what he's doing. So, you know how we hear about, we want same day, in person, paper ballots, hand counted, which, by the way, we absolutely need to have.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Right. We need election day, not election week.
Right. So I'm expecting that. But there's 8 states that do not have in-person voting. They only are mail-in voting. So I'm looking at this, that he's only putting his toe in the water because, the lawsuits, I'm sure Tong is already on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their automatic reaction. Something good, something smart. Oh, gotta sue.
Yeah.
Okay, so the executive order that was signed a little over a week ago is for the mail-in ballots.
Okay.
So the mail-in ballots have to go through the post office.
Okay.
And they are all going to be coded.
Okay.
Every single one, so they can be tracked.
Okay.
The best thing about this is that the voter rolls that everybody, the Democrats are all whining, we can't give them our Social Security numbers.
Right.
Even though, guess who gave you your Social Security number? The federal government. They already have it.
It's interesting. Yeah. Good point.
So all they're whining and complaining. So what the federal government has done is they have taken the registered voter rolls lists that they have run it through the Social Security Death Index to remove the dead people that they refuse to remove off the voter rolls.
So you can't get a mail-in ballot if you're dead.
No. And The illegals, they ran it through the SAVE, the alien ID, because they already know most of the illegals that Biden gave, the numbers to.
Right.
And those are removed.
Oh.
So they have taken out a chunk.
That's a huge chunk.
Right. Of the fraudulent registered voters, ghost voters,
Right.
people that don't exist.
Right.
They're not going to be on the voter rolls.
It was
anymore.
relied on, and the importance of this, for those people who may have forgotten, that was relied on heavily during the 2020 election, during the pandemic, that a lot of these numbers people waited on were the mail-in, like we have to wait on a mail-in ballot vote count after everyone who showed up in person had done it. And that's where people believe sort of the nefarious activity took place.
It happened even well before that with all the numbers that were being put into the system.
Sure.
I mean, I know at least people listening to you understand that they have a lot of proof for the 2020 election and coming forward.
Right.
Just like Georgia. Georgia, the reason why those ballots were held onto was because of the lawsuit. Otherwise, they would have been destroyed within 22 months.
Wow.
Same thing with Arizona. So there's a lot of them that can't go back on that. But then you have the ones that now you have all the whistleblowers talking about what they did. And then the whole situation concerning the Venezuela and the Serbia stuff that I think I had mentioned the last time that
exactly.
I was on.
In fact, I just got another video recently about the Venezuela sort of connection that many people had poo-pooed. They had said there was no verifiable evidence that was related to, not Maduro, but who was the guy before? Chavez, yeah. That there was no connection there, nothing at least that was worth referencing. And it's really, really deep.
It is so deep. And I got to tell you, it was a few days after the November 2020 election, I had gotten a phone call from someone in Europe. And he started telling me about Venezuela, Serbia. And I'm thinking this guy's a nut.
Yeah.
I mean, this is way over my head. Really quick, I contacted a friend who was a former CIA analyst, and I said, listen, I don't know if this guy is, a wackadoodle or he's telling the truth. Would you talk to him and let me know? He said yes. I texted trusted source. They had a conversation. I got a call 2 hours later from my friend, and I said, well, is there something there? And he goes, I think so. I'm having another conversation in 6 hours. He goes, listen, I already sent you the report. I'll send you the report after this. I'm like, no, please don't. I've already had death threats.
Yeah.
I don't need this. Well, fast forward to last January 21st, I was in a meeting down in Virginia, and there was the whole thing laid out in front, everything that I had already been told years earlier.
Wow.
So fast forward now to this year, Ian Trottier, who wrote High Treason, he had Venezuelan information. And then Ralph Pizzulo, who wrote Stolen Elections, he had information as well, with not only in his book, but others. I connected them to my contact person out in Nevada. And it's just amazing how all that information, everything is true. Then I had a woman on my program. Her name is Ana Diaz. She was the election official during Chavez's time in 2006.
Yeah.
She already had 2 months shy of 25 years. And they wanted her to remove any ballot that said they were trying to get rid of socialism.
Okay.
She was told, you have to destroy any ballot that comes in that says yes. She refused. Her life was threatened. And she's been in exile for like 25 years.
Oh.
And I had her on my program. And the funny thing she said was that the person who said that to her is now the number 2 person in Venezuela.
Wow.
And she said what she wants to do is tell him to his face, you should have eliminated me.
Wow.
Because she has so much information. That's just one little tiny bit. So I know there's a lot of naysayers out there.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to them anymore.
Neither do I. My assistant Tim had mentioned comments that people have made,
Sure.
on our stuff, and I'm like, what? And he goes, they don't believe that there's any issues, and it's just like, well, they've got their head in the sand. I mean, because the information is out there, but the drive-by media, the fake media, and the far left liberals, they will never, ever listen to facts.
Yeah, I have no interest. It's so funny, Linda. We're here with Linda Szynkowicz of FightVoterFraud.org, and this is what I was just having this conversation earlier today. I'm done with trying to convince people who don't want to be.
You can't.
Right? It's like I'm not. It's like I'm not convinced because, and I tell people that all the time, if we know what's going on, let's just know what's going on, because then when the evidence is revealed, the only thing they'll be fighting is themselves to have to be they'll be saying to themselves like, I didn't want to believe it. I was like, actually, I don't care what you want to believe.
Right.
I don't care that you think that this is. Can I give you the most basic thing? As you were talking,
Sure.
This is the most basic thing about all of this that bothered me. And I said this to everybody. It's as simple as this. We had a country that told us everywhere you looked, from news media to politicians to the talking heads, they said in 2020 that it was an existential threat to our democracy and our way of life if Donald Trump was reelected, if we didn't. And I said, with all of that on the line, we are fighting for the heart and soul of this country. If it was that dire, are you telling me that no one would pull out all the stops to make sure that Joe Biden win? Are you telling me that no one left it to chance after they had been completely shellacked with the Hillary Clinton 90% probability that she would win, after exactly the embarrassment that they witnessed in 2016, that they wouldn't pull out all the stops to not have that embarrassment in 2020? And you're going to tell me that nobody cheated? Not one single solitary person cheated? Or did everybody cheat? Like, you got to look at that and say, like, in this case with Donald Trump, with everything they're telling us is how desperate it was, that no one said that let's put our thumb on the scale, that everybody says, let's just give it to chance.
Oh, no. They put more than a thumb on the scale.
I know. But
They
that's the
threw-
part that try to get my head. Wrap your head around. Any average person, wrap your head around the idea that in 2020 that they were ever going to allow the embarrassment that was Hillary Clinton happen again with Joe Biden. You're going to tell me that nobody cheated, nobody, greased the skids? Come on, man.
Right. And then afterwards, anybody who brought it up, the Department of Justice under Biden came after them. I mean, Rudy Giuliani, look what happened to him.
Yep.
And he was right. He was 100% right. Powell, she was right.
Yeah.
Sidney Powell.
Yeah.
With everything. Lindell, what's happened to him? And then you hear people, well, they lost in court or this, that. Well, look at the court that was used.
Yeah.
Look at everything that has
Yeah,
happened.
can you imagine that? Now, all of a sudden, people are putting all of their faith in the judicial system. That's funny. They didn't feel that way after, so many other cases that didn't go their way. The judicial system sucks. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, screw this system. Now, all of a sudden, when they get their way, and it was like, but the judges said so. I'm like, so which is it? You can trust the judicial system or not? And it seems to be, again, I looked at all of those cases. They said that, they were tossed out. I said, that's not a thorough review.
No.
That's not what we do.
No, they held up, like the Georgia one that they had held up was, okay, we'll give you a court date, but, we're not assigning a judge.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sat there and the time expired. They pulled everything you can imagine with this. So I would like to say, don't think that Trump sat back after he lost.
Yeah, I know he didn't.
He did not
I know he
at
didn't.
all. The same thing with Elon Musk. Do you think the Doge just started on January 20th of last year? No. All this stuff has been going on. And the problem they have, first of all, they still have a lot of bad apples in the Department of Justice. They've already gotten rid of I think it was like 5,000 people.
Whew.
And they still have a lot of bad apples.
Yes,
in
a
the
lot of people.
Department of Justice,
There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people there.
Then you look at the judges, the judges themselves.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
just caught Boesbert in a conflict of interest with Jack Smith.
Yeah, there is so much with all of this, including bring up, when we were here in the Supreme Court here in Connecticut, back over the Wanda the Ballot stuffer case and the stuff we had, they decided to rule on standing instead of the merits of the case, but our Supreme Court used Massachusetts law.
What?
Honestly, you got to say it. It is the most bizarre thing. Our Supreme Court in Connecticut
Use Massachusetts
law in our case instead of using Connecticut law. And that was one that usually you have just Chief State's Attorney's Office test. Well, Tong made sure that his office was in there too, so they had the two of them able to speak. Not him himself, but someone from his office. So they fought us tooth and nail, and that was the outcome. It's unprecedented with everything. So do you trust what's going on with the judges right now?
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
Look who's in those positions. But all is not lost. Just remember, there is always a way, and our leader has thought of everything. Which, before I forget, going back to the absentee ballot executive order,
let's do that.
Here's one other thing that they threw in there. They have to use the list provided by the federal government for voting. They cannot use the list here in Connecticut.
Okay, so it's not okay. So this is a very important distinction.
Yes.
Because the state list would allow them to just let anyone vote
right
in the upcoming midterms. Yes. I would presume. So they have to use the list provided by the government, since they will not. In essence, there's that back and forth that's going on right now with this Secretary of State and the DOJ, where they will not turn over the voter rolls. Where they say, if you won't do that, so that we can clean them up, now they will mandate that you have to use their voter rolls.
Right, because their voter rolls are actually cleaned up. I mean, the states that are against this are like way in the back seat. They're in the back of the bus.
Right.
You missed what was happening. Do you really think you're going to stop and say, okay, well, the government's going to acquiesce during a federal election?
Yeah.
That's the key here. Yes, states have rights on how they can run their own elections.
Right.
But the federal government has the final say when it is a federal election, which is every 2 years. So if you want to use the garbage list for your local primaries or something here in Connecticut, yeah, I mean, not involving any people who are going for federal office, well, then I guess they can use that, you know. But what's going to happen with this is that, there's going to be some people that may not be on the list for whatever reason. There will be a way that they can get on the list.
Sure.
And if elected officials, meaning registrar of voters, register someone without absolute proof of U.S. citizenship, it's a criminal charge.
Okay.
I think that is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Because it ties into everything we're talking about, people not doing their job.
Yeah, we'll get into that because that's very important in this list, because not only is it extensive, but it is so wide-ranging in the amount of people who are still sitting on the voter rolls, having not voted in 2 consecutive elections. We're talking about 5 to 9 years, have had no role in voting, and their names still appear there, which again opens the door to so much fraud in this case. We'll talk about that when we come back at the other side of this hour. Linda Szynkowicz is here. Please visit her at fightvoterfraud.org. Again, fightvoterfraud.org. She does a podcast. She posts videos on how you can get involved and stop voter fraud in your own community, even on your own block. All right, so stand by for that. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is here. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, you're going to see some slow traffic as you move on the southbound side of I-91. That's going to slow you down from 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling westbound 84, you're slowing approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound's tight about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound's a little tight as you merge with 84 west. Traveling 9 northbound, some slow traffic 34 up to exit 37 in New Britain. 9 northbound in Middletown slows Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Windy the rest of this afternoon with clouds and occasional sunshine, along with a passing shower or two. High 52 degrees. Still breezy through early tonight. Otherwise, tonight, clear to at times partly cloudy and colder. Bundle up, it'll feel like winter again with a low of 26 degrees. Tomorrow, bright and sunny. Remaining cool, but not as windy as today. High 52. The clear, cold weather tomorrow night. Low 29. So again, most areas will drop below freezing. Temperatures will begin to moderate starting with Thursday. Mostly sunny and breezy. High 57. Breezy and warmer on Friday. Sunshine mixing with some clouds. Friday's high reaching 68 degrees. Heading into the weekend, breezy on Saturday, clouds to start, some sunshine. For Saturday afternoon, high 64 degrees. Sunday looks nice, plenty of sunshine with an afternoon high of 63. Heading into next week, breezy and warmer. Partly sunny on Monday with a high up to 74 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut, from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump has received a proposal from Iran that could postpone any threatened action against Iran if it fails to agree to a peace deal and to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
Made by the Prime Minister of Pakistan states diplomatic efforts for peaceful settlement are, quote, progressing steadily, strongly, and powerfully, with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. To allow diplomacy to run its course, I urgently request President Trump to extend the deadline for 2 weeks. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt responded, the president has been made aware of the proposal and a response will come. Earlier, Trump threatened Iran, saying, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
UConn men's basketball team coming home empty-handed this year. The Huskies dropped the national championship game to Michigan, 69-63, Monday night. First time UConn has lost in a championship final after 6 tries. A former Wesleyan University student is now facing voyeurism charges. Middletown police say 19-year-old Samuel Schumann photographed over a dozen female students in bathrooms on campus last fall. He's facing a total of 31 counts in all. New Haven has a new fire chief. Mayor Justin Elliker swore in Assistant Chief Daniel Coughlin today for the top job. Coughlin has over 20 years in the department. He was tapped in January to replace the now retired John Alston. Coughlin's appointment was approved Monday night by the New Haven Board of Alders. If you find yourself congested, maybe your eyes itching, you're probably not alone. As trees start to bud, the usual springtime allergies are beginning to emerge.
This would be the tree pollen. All our maple trees and birch trees, oak trees, all those are high pollen counts for the springtime.
Pam Sherman, ear, nose, and throat nurse at UConn Health, recommends folks follow preventative measures to cut down on exposure to pollen. That would include removing and washing clothing that's been worn outdoors, as well as keeping windows closed if possible and using air purifiers. Dow lost 85 points today. The NASDAQ gained 21 and the S&P was up 5. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, brain fog, low sex drive, and it makes it tough to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is important to our overall health and well-being. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if some or all of those symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. But more than this, we can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. Helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio here. I'm live with Linda Szynkowicz. We're going to talk some more. Might as well put you back on there. Because this is a short break before we get back into weather and traffic. You and I were talking behind the scenes here about stuff that we can't talk about on air. But some good stuff nonetheless. So you're still working diligently because I know the Secretary of State as well as William Tong, the Attorney General, are fighting to keep the voter rolls out of the hands of the federal government, or as they put it, Donald Trump, like he's going to be overseeing it. They are fighting tooth and nail to do that. But the list that you have here, what is this in comparison to that? Like what you're trying to gather or what you've gathered are what exactly?
Okay, so you can purchase Connecticut voter rolls for $300.
Right.
And the only thing that is missing are the identifiers of the Social Security number, the last 4 digits, and I don't even know because we don't get it whether the driver's license number was on there.
Okay.
The birth dates now. I mean, they screw around with the birth dates.
Right.
You know, we have it from past ones where you had your first, month, day, and year.
Right.
Now I think that they're at the month and year, but maybe they're going to go to just the year. But what was funny a few years ago when they switched, after it was voted that they would take that out, let's just say some of the politicians were able to get it put back in because they realized they needed that. But it's just So anyway, so what we do, and this analysis that we've done, I believe, is from the voter rolls from December 3rd.
Okay.
So December 3rd of 2025, even though she had the wrong year on there.
Right.
It's 2026. So what we did was we looked at ones to see how many people are still on the active voter rolls over 9 years.
Right. In other words, they have not voted in the past 9 years, but still currently sit on the voter rolls.
Right. It could be up to 30 years, but they're still active. What the problem with that is that they're supposed to have been canvassed by the Registrar of Voters.
That's right.
Within 2 consecutive federal elections, the 4 years. And if it comes back a card, or if they make a phone call, they can't get through, comes back undeliverable, it gets put on the inactive list for another 4 years unless evidence is brought forward or a person lets them know, listen, I'm no longer there, this is where I am now, remove me from the list, which is also another problem. We've heard people who have done that, yet still find out 2 years later the registrars never removed them from the list.
Interesting.
It depends where you're at. I mean, you've got some registrars that are fabulous doing their jobs, and you've got others that,
they've completely shirked their responsibility. Right. We'll get to that in a second. I've got to go into another traffic break with Mark Christopher. But that's the part I want to get into, and I want to look a little bit at these numbers because they are quite daunting. Some of them are insignificant, but some of them are a lot. So we'll get into that. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading in toward Hartford right now, things overall are doing pretty well on the roads. If you are traveling on the southbound side of I-91, got a little slow traffic as you move from exit 33 down to 32A and B. South of downtown, a little tap of the brakes down by exit 28. If you're westbound, 84 slows approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound, tight about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound, just a little slow as you merge the 84 West and East Hartford. 9 northbound's tight Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Traveling into New Britain, 9 northbound's a little slow, 32 up to exit 34. And if you're heading toward New Haven, 95 southbound delays 46 down to 44 in New Haven. This traffic report is being brought to you by the Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy life. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Windy and chilly as we begin this evening. And not quite as windy overnight, but definitely colder. A clear to partly cloudy sky for the overnight. We're dropping below freezing, a low of 26 degrees. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Another cool day, though not as windy as today. High 52. Clear, cold weather coming up again tomorrow night, low 29. Not as cold on Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, high 57, and temperatures warming into the 60s on Friday. Right now it is 45 degrees in Cheshire. It's 49 in Watertown and 47 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Get our big breakfast with sausage patty, scrambled eggs, a biscuit, hash browns, and our hotcakes, all for just $5. Only during breakfast hours at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Over 35 years, I've seen it all. Car crashes, work injuries, defective products, medical mistakes, lives flipped upside down in an instant. But I've also seen something else, the power of fighting back, the power of winning. Over $30 billion recovered and counting. Size matters, reputation matters, results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Injured? Dial pound law. Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
It's so unfair, Linda. It's so unfair. We have so much that we talk about behind the scenes that we can't talk about on the air. Strategy, folks, strategy. Let me tell you something, Linda, I love you. That's why every time you ask me to come on here, I don't care what anybody says. They may say that you're my favorite. You are my favorite. I love it when you come here because you love being on the show anyway.
Yes, I do.
I love bringing you here because you're fun, because you and it's so funny because I'm such an election wonk. Like, I'm so involved in what you do. I could never do it because I don't have that kind of attention span. You are just so enveloped in this. And I envy you. And to be honest with you, that's why I bring you in here, because you get to tell me the stuff that you do all the work for, and I'd get to take credit for it. No, I'm kidding. No,
but trust me, I have a lot of people taking credit.
No kidding. I know. That's why I said it. Because you do so much of the legwork for all of us, and I love that you do. So this forum is yours, and that's why I say anytime you ever call me, because Linda called me this time. She goes, "Hey, listen, I need to come on the show," and I'm like, "Linda, don't worry about it. You know you're there." So anytime you ask, you know that. And I only do that for a few people.
Thank you.
So, okay, tell me what it is that's most important to those of us who are deeply involved in how much fraud is going on here. And if it's not fraud, just mismanagement of the vote count. What's going on and what did you find?
Okay. This is stuff that's really simple for us to do since we have it down to a science.
Okay.
We not only do this in Connecticut voter rolls, but obviously the other ones across the country. So the first thing we want to look at is people who should not be on the voter rolls.
Right.
Because all this stuff that we have is a violation of HAVA, the Help America Vote Act, and the NVRA, the National Voter Registration Act, which is why the DOJ is asking for the voter rolls, because they can easily do what we do, or with our help, can show them, yes, this is why they are violating the federal laws.
Right. And if this is an important part, because a lot of people in this state, mostly on the conservative, maybe even some on the independent, are very concerned about supermajorities. And sometimes, and I'm sorry, sometimes the reason why that's happening is because someone is allowing fraud to take place in the elections. Because there should be some accountability for bad policy. In essence, if there are people out there who wish to vote bad, politicians out, if there's fraud going on, they may not be able to have the apparatus or at least the information to do so. And if there's fraud going on, they'll never know.
Absolutely.
Okay, go
Absolutely.
on. I'm sorry.
So the first things we looked at were people who haven't voted in more than 9 years. So that's beyond the, first 4 years, the second 4 years of inactive, and the 1 year on the off list if they don't hear anything. And it was just astounding because for several years we sent this information with the details, and it's not just, who voted or whatever, the registrations, the 1/1/1800, which is a clerical error, the 1/1/1900, which means, again, a clerical error on the birth date.
Okay.
If a registrar does not put in the birth date, it automatically flips to 1/1/1900.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
when you have, oh my God, you've got all these people 126 years old
Okay.
that are voting.
And that's just a clerical
No,
error.
It's a clerical error that
Okay.
should have been caught multiple times over, and it's stuff that we have pointed out to every single town in Connecticut, 169 towns. So for several years, we were showing them this, not just the numbers, exactly who it is.
Ooh, okay.
We know exactly who these people are. These aren't just numbers.
Okay.
We know who these people are.
Wow.
And this is information if people out there are interested in your town, you want to know, your numbers, or
Because you could
who they
you could very well be one of the people, if not a relative of yours, could be one of these people.
Right.
Okay.
So we also have a disclaimer on there that this is just an analysis of the voter rolls, that you will do your own due diligence. We're not responsible for anything.
Right.
You cannot sell this information. You cannot use it for any fraudulent purposes. This is what we got in looking at Connecticut voter rolls and doing our analysis on who should not be on the voter rolls, who should be on the inactive list, ones that should have been taken off years ago. And people will say, well, who cares? Right? Well, we care because there's a lot of nefarious people out there filling out absentee ballots for people, or even going in person and pretending they're them.
Yeah, and if there's no checks and balance, right, there's no registrar there with the information that says this person hasn't been on the voter rolls, they're not even connecting those dots.
Right.
And that vote gets through.
So this is what's been going on for a very long time, and we started doing the analysis in 2023.
Okay.
Since then, you would think it would get better because we're helping them. We're showing you exactly who it is. We showed you exactly where the problem is. It got worse.
Really?
It got worse. It is so ridiculous right now. I think it's like 246,000. I think we have on the number there.
Yeah, that list
ones,
there. Yeah.
with that should have been either on the inactive to off list or the active to inactive list. Another astounding thing is that we ran the deceased voters through our system because we get the Social Security Death Index.
Right.
And we match on first name, last name, middle name, and date of birth. Now, it took us several years to get the dead people off the Connecticut voter rolls. I think there was still like 1,000 that we proved that they still didn't want to take off the list.
How many were there altogether, dead people?
In 2020, I think it was like 7,741. And 542 of them voted in 2020. And some even voted in person.
Wow.
So we struggled to try to get them to take them off. And I'll tell you, there were some registrars that were so thankful to us because we helped them do their other jobs. There were others that literally gave us the middle finger.
Wow.
And now we ran the list about 2 months ago. Guess how many dead people are on the Connecticut voter rolls right now?
Please.
Over 6,700.
Wow.
Again. So where is the disconnect here? The disconnect is that our Secretary of State does not feel it's worth actually getting the system that will allow the registrars to run the names themselves. If the state isn't going to run them, they should be able to do it. What they do is they send a list Yeah, I believe now every month they may send a list.
Well,
But it depends whether or not the registrars actually take action. And the difference between someone who should be on the inactive list or whatever compared to someone who is dead is that if they're dead, they are immediately to be taken off. It doesn't even encompass that 90 days before an election you can't touch anything.
Yeah.
If they're dead, I'm sorry, they're dead.
Right.
But what happens is we have the permanent lists for absentee ballots that get sent out to certain people, so they still get sent out. Oh, Grandma would have wanted to vote this
I know.
way.
Man.
You
Every time
know?
you tell me that story, I always go, yeah, we're just voting for what Grandma would have voted for if she were here. It still bothers me when I hear that story.
And you hear, you know, the nefarious ones, they know that person is deceased. They're going to look and say, well, the person hasn't voted in 8 years. They're still active? Maybe we should send somebody in, pretend it's them, or apply for an absentee ballot under their name, which has happened. How many of your listeners have gone to vote, and when you get there, you're told, oh, you already voted?
There's so many people who called me last two elections. People called me here and said that happened to
What is
them.
happening? And it goes down to the basics on cleaning the voter rolls, which is what the Department of Justice wanted to help out with, which now they're going to be doing it mandatorily. They'll be sending it to us.
Yeah.
But any state that does pushback is doing it because they need the illegals on the voter rolls. They need to keep the dead people on the voter rolls because they know certain places will fill out their ballots.
Answer a question for me that I get from the naysayers that we get a lot of. And this is something that has sort of weighed on me a little bit because people keep saying it's like, oh, it's not widespread voter fraud. I know what you're going to say. I knew your reaction was going to be that. But this is the part that, again, and again, I always say this. Wanda Pataki's case, was it 91 counts?
Yes.
Of fraud? Okay. So when I'm looking at an election, or when they're looking at an election, they're going, in order for it to be widespread, it's got to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of fraudulent voting in order to win elections. But then I laid out just recently Mayor Arunin from Hartford, his election. In the gubernatorial election in Hartford, Hartford voters showed up, I think about 19,000 people voted for Lamont. In the presidential election, Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, about 23,000 voted for Kamala Harris. Mayor Arunin's election in Hartford, 4,700 people voted. That is you know what I'm saying? That's the distinction I'm trying to make to these people about fraudulent voting. That's a crazy difference of voting for their local. I mean, they're voting for mayor. Only 4,700 people showed up. It begs the question, how many people are showing up in a gubernatorial election versus even the federal one? There's got to be a huge number of fraud to see that. It's just it's not about catching it. It's about not catching it. That's the problem. Is that right?
And there are absolutely ways that we can fix this. We can fix this problem. First, you need to get involved. Everybody needs to get involved. I told you about our Operation Verify Voters 2026. Go to our website, sign up for it. It takes 15 minutes. We'll teach you what you can do. You don't even have to join a group. You don't even have to donate if you don't want to, although we're a nonprofit. And that's
nice.
What we need.
Yeah.
You know, we're helping you. But you know who died, who moved in your neighborhood. You know that there's only 2 people that live in that house across the street. Go check the voter rolls.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's 27 people registered there? I'm serious.
And you'd be surprised. An
happens.
Abandoned building, abandoned house in your neighborhood.
We know across the country where people are registered to vote. In an abandoned gas station in, the wilderness in Oregon. You've got X amount of people registered to vote there. And I joke about the outhouse in the middle of a desert.
Yeah.
You've got people registered to vote there. You've got them registered to vote in places they're not supposed to be registered to vote.
And people think that, it is ticky-tacky. I get it. Is it 17 votes here, 23 there? They all count. Every bit of election fraud counts. Calling it not widespread, meaning that if it's not widespread, there isn't fraud, or at least reasonable amounts of fraud, it's not even a discussion. It's a non-starter. Right. Fraud is fraud.
Right. And if you drill it down to your local level, what should be the most important thing? Right. It's your town.
That's
your
right.
taxes, everything that goes on with that. Well, what would you think if you have people who are always against you on the Board of Education with all the DEI and all this other crap, if you found out that their votes they got weren't real? Because some of those votes are only by a couple of votes. I always bring back to 2018 because I hadn't really followed it since. There were 22 races determined by less than 100 votes, and some by 1 or 2 votes or 3 votes. I mean, that could be the difference between your mayor or your town clerk.
And that's the fair argument here, is that, and I think that's when people use the term widespread, is that when they're thinking about election fraud, they're thinking it on a level of presidential election, because those are millions of votes. But again, voter fraud happens in the small scale because local elections matter most. And we wouldn't have the Wanda Patakis. And again, Wanda wouldn't have done or alleged, to done what she's done, because she's not convicted yet. But she wouldn't have done what she's alleged to have done if it didn't matter, right? Like, there's no reason to put in 7 votes if they didn't matter at all. Those 7 votes matter. She's got 91 counts. Oh, money plays a role too. Yeah,
money plays a role. And as I've mentioned before, you've got the cartels involved in this.
That's right.
There's a lot of money in this. A lot of money. I mean, Hartford, you've got the cartels in Hartford in a big way, which, Tong embraces. We got to keep all the terrorist groups there. But like I told you, I think I told you before, it was before the 2024 election, a Democrat sent a video to all the legislators because she was upset that the cost for the votes for the illegals were going to be more than $100.
What?
Yes. $100 a vote for the illegals in Hartford before the 2024 election, but the price was going up.
Wow.
So it's not that the illegals get the money, it's the cartels.
That's right.
So, the illegals may get like $5 out of maybe 125
to show up to vote.
But people are paying money. I mean, it is crazy, and this is all across the country. There is so many problems with everything that tackling the illegals, they are not undocumented. I am sorry. You step foot across our border, we have a legal way you can come in. It is illegal to do that. And then we've seen what has been going on with all the fraud stuff and all the programs. And here in Connecticut, 2023 was like $3.2 billion of our tax dollars went to the illegals in the state of Connecticut that Tong wants here. Well, they need to fill, the jobs that others won't take. There are jobs that everyone will take because everybody works their way up, and you have illegals taking these jobs. So they're protecting them. They're getting their votes. They need them there. I mean, it is so involved. But anybody out there right now who's going, oh, she's out of her mind. I mean, I've heard this before, and I've heard some other things. I'm not.
Linda, thank you as always for coming in. It is always a pleasure to have you. I love you. You'll be back as soon as, because we got some new stuff that's coming up soon. So, Linda Szynkowicz, folks, fightvoterfraud.org. Make sure you check her out. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, getting you home. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you are heading on the eastbound side of I-84, look for delays now. About a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 91 southbound's a little slow at 32 A and B. Again, down by exit 28. If you are traveling into Meriden, once again, a brief slowdown by 19 down to 18 in the 691 interchange. If you're traveling 9 north and southbound, slowing, approaching the Arrowcounty Bridge in Middletown. Heading down into New Haven, 95 south, just a little slow, 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Windy the rest of this afternoon with clouds and occasional sunshine along with a passing shower or two. High 52 degrees. Still breezy through early tonight. Otherwise tonight, clear to at times partly cloudy and colder. Bundle up, it'll feel like winter again with a low of 26 degrees. Tomorrow, bright and sunny, remaining cool but not as windy as today. High 52. The clear, cold weather tomorrow night, low 29. So again, most areas will drop below freezing. Temperatures will begin to moderate starting with Thursday. Mostly sunny and breezy, high 57. Breezy and warmer on Friday. Sunshine mixing with some clouds. Friday's high reaching 68 degrees. Heading into the weekend, breezy on Saturday, clouds to start, some sunshine. For Saturday afternoon, high 64 degrees. Sunday looks nice, plenty of sunshine with an afternoon high of 63. Heading into next week, breezy and warmer. Partly sunny on Monday with a high up to 74 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. New developments as a deadline for Iran to accept a peace deal from President Trump and reopen the Strait of Hormuz creeps closer.
Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, on X, posting that diplomatic efforts for peaceful settlement of the ongoing war in the Middle East are progressing steadily, strongly, and powerfully with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. So he's asking that for diplomacy to run its course, there be a 2-week ceasefire for the president to put that in place.
That's correspondent Ed O'Keefe at the White House. Pope Leo is calling for cooler heads to prevail as well.
Without mentioning the United States, Pope Leo XIV is calling the threat against all the people of Iran unacceptable.
Reject war, especially a war which many people have said is an unjust war.
The pontiff adds that the war on Iran is
only provoking more hatred throughout the world.
Pope Leo is calling on citizens of all the nations involved to tell authorities to work for peace. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Fire hydrant malfunctions being blamed for the response to a house fire in Waterbury early this morning. Officials say firefighters were waylaid by about 20 minutes in putting out a fire that destroyed a house and a garage and damaged 2 cars on Bennett Street. This is Waterbury Mayor Paul Pernaruski.
As far as we can tell, it's probably been maybe 15 years or more since anyone did pressure testing here.
He says there is a plan in place to test the hydrants going forward.
A 20-minute delay is an issue, and we shouldn't be having that happen. So that's why we're going to be, going forward, we're going to be, proactively trying to address those issues so that it doesn't happen that way again.
Firefighters had to lay an extra 400 yards or so of hose to hydrants on Fairfield Avenue before they had sufficient enough water pressure to put the fire out. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection ranking Connecticut's fire risk as high. That means there's a greater risk at sparking a fire in the dry conditions and having it spread due to the windy conditions as well. And the state forester, Chris Martin, is advising folks to pay attention to local burning rules.
People like to burn winter debris in their yards this time of year. And be sure you have a burn permit from your local fire official. You can call town hall for that. And then there'll be parameters with that burn permit as far as a water source and hand tools.
He also points out that large plumes of smoke from state parks and forests are usually controlled burns. The state is working on some of those types of burns across Connecticut. Local warnings were shared ahead of time. Voters are heading to the polls in a runoff election in Georgia's 14th congressional district. It's the seat held by Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene before she resigned earlier this year. Republican Clay Fuller is facing off against Democrat Sean Harris.
I was baptized as a Democrat, and after Bill Clinton's first term, I have never voted Democrat again, and I will only vote Democrat if Jesus runs, and I know he won't.
Both candidates didn't secure enough votes in the special election held last month. University of South Carolina women's basketball coach Dawn Staley wants to put her flap with UConn's Gino Auriemma behind her. Staley says she has since spoken to Auriemma following their dust-up at the end of the Gamecocks' 62-48 win over the Huskies in the national semifinal last Friday. apparently started when Auriemma became frustrated over a perceived lack of a pregame handshake and carried over to the end of the game. Auriemma issued an apology, and now Staley in a statement says she has spoken to Auriemma, adding, "One moment doesn't define a career." Staley adds she is asking everyone to turn the page and focus more on growing the game. Checking Wall Street, mixed bag as far as stocks go today. The Dow down 85 points, NASDAQ up 21, S&P up 5. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sorry, I was on the phone with Courtney Ann. You remember her from Courtney's Courtroom. I haven't hollered at her for a while, so I was just rambling with her for a little bit. You know, let's do our thing. News. Today's birthdays. Ben McKee of Imagine Dragons turns 41 years old today. John Cooper is 51. He is the Skillet frontman, who's also a high-energy Christian rock singer. You may know him if you're into Christian rock. He turns 51 today. Janice Jan, the 75-year-old folk icon who had a smash hit at 17. He is 75 today. And from my favorite band, Hall & Oates, and it was my favorite band growing up, John Oates turned 78 years old today. 78 years old today, even though he is no longer with, Hall, so it sucks. It's like your parents getting divorced. They'll never join forces again. Album chart anniversaries are as follows. 11 years ago, Don McLean sold the original manuscript for American Pie for $1.2 million at Christie's. 36 years ago, Bonnie Raitt's Nick of Time hits #1. Remember when she was big? 47 years ago, the Doobie Brothers, Minute by Minute, topped the Billboard 200 back in 1979, packed with the very famous and very Grammy-popular What a Fool Believes, written by Kenny Loggins. 48 years ago, Prince released his debut album, For You, in 1978. I think he played every instrument in that album. And 70 years ago, Little Richard's Long Tall Sally enters the Billboard Top 100 back in 1956. I can honestly say Bonnie Raitt, that run back 36 years ago in 1990 was big for her. And she had been around for a while, but I didn't know anything about Bonnie Raitt, but she was big as sort of a mainstream artist back then. And what was I going to say? The Prince first album, For You. I know nothing about that album, but I do remember the Doobie Brothers, Minute by Minute. That one I definitely remember. That's Shoe Music News. Mark Christopher, he's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center getting you home. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hartford traffic doing okay right now. Southbound 91, just some delays, 33 to 32. Again, down by exit 28. Eastbound side of 84 slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47th Sigourney Street. 2 eastbounds moving well into Glastonbury and Marlboro. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound's a little slow, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading down into New Haven, southbound on the Parkway, a little tight, 50 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 south in New Haven, slowing 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy and windy as we begin this evening, then mostly clear for the overnight. Quite cold for so late in the season, a low temperature 26. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, cool day, high 52, then clear. Cold tomorrow night, again below freezing, low tomorrow night 29. We'll see sunny and breezy on Thursday, not as chilly, high 57. Sunshine giving way to clouds on Friday, breezy and warmer. Friday afternoon, high 68. Right now it is 43 degrees in Walcott, it's 45 in Newington, and 44 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the All-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
If you're carrying a lot of credit card or personal loan debt, every month can start to feel the same. All those bills, all those due dates, all that stress. There's a solution that's designed to make it easier for you. National Debt Relief could put you on the fast track to paying off your credit card debt, personal loans, and even medical debt for less than you owe, with just one low monthly payment you can afford. And no, it's not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. It's a real, affordable debt relief program that could save you lots of money. National Debt Relief has already helped over 1 million people with their debt and has thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So if you owe $10,000 or more, don't wait. Call 800-300-4411 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-300-4411. One call could help reduce what you owe and simplify your monthly payments. Call 800-300-4411 now to find out how much you could save.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. Legacybox.com/radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio here. Nern, that was brilliant of you. You said Y2K when Linda was talking about if the date of birth isn't there, it goes back to the 1900s. I was thinking the same thing when she said that, because remember that was the big fear during Y2K, that all of the computer clocks would go back to the 1900. I totally remember that. I totally remember that, and I thought the same thing. Boost and Roos says that it doesn't need to be widespread. A couple of votes can change a local election. Exactly the point. I was totally channeling you there, Boost and Roost. And thank you for that. John D. says the media will never look into this. We have all of this information. So many things are connected. Is anything going to be done? Let me tell you something, because Linda and I cannot talk about a lot of things that's going on in the inner workings. For obvious reasons, they can't be. One, you don't spook anybody. And two, you don't let anybody on to what's going on. Linda is very, very active in what's happening here and abroad. And she talks to me a lot. And like I said, they could call me all day. Beg me, get on your knees, beg me. I will tell you nothing. And let me tell you, I will tell you this. Boy, I'm so enriched every time I sit and talk with her. I'm so enriched. And everything that I know and everything that I believe, I know it. I say to myself, no, I'm certain of this. And people give me the, you really think that's going to happen? And I go, yep. Sure enough. The right people come up to me and they go, yeah, we heard what you said. And I went, okay, any way I'm ahead of myself on this one? They go, no, not at all. You're right over the target. And I go, that's what I thought. As I tell people all the time, I'm well-sourced. I never tell people, I don't brag. I don't brag on people. I don't talk about who I know and who's in my pocket and what connections I have. I don't do it. I don't. I will tell you this, though. We will be getting Nick Shirley on the program very soon. That's happening. I got people working diligently. Got them working. Let me see. Lacey Media. Okay. So there's plenty of stuff to tell you about. Let me tell John. John, I will call you after the show. You're going to love the information I'm about to give you today. And I'll say, like I said, if you ever see me out there hanging out and you go, Reese, what was that thing you were talking about behind the scenes? I'll be happy to tell you folks. I'll be happy to. I'm not shy at all. Just not doing it on these airwaves. But if you ever want to know, as they say in the hood, holla at your boy. I'll tell you all the good stuff. Boy, there is some good stuff coming. Now, with that, in the beginning of the show, we talked about the 9 compromises. If you're new to the show or you just got here and you missed yesterday's, the 9 compromises are things that the Democrats should give up in order for us to denounce MAGA or Trump entirely. And they are simple. They're really, really simple things. And I think that, I wish there were 10, but there are 9. The 9 compromises are that the people on the left have to no longer suggest that biology is a spectrum, that men can be women and women can be men. They have to abandon that in order for us to abandon Trump. Open borders are compassionate. They have to drop that. Defund the police. No more of that. Climate change apocalypse. Gotta go. Race-based policies, DEI, CRT, the whole mess, gone. Meritocracy returns. Late-term abortion called reproductive health care. Got to be gone. Abandon it. Socialism light, redistribution, give it up. And COVID lockdowns, admit they were wrong, that herd immunity was nonsense. Oh, and my other one, what was the other thing? What was the Dr. Fauci thing that he said? Natural immunity, that he dismissed entirely, even though years earlier he said that it was a thing during the flu cases, some 20 years before. Anyway, abandon all of those things, and we will, we'll denounce Trump and MAGA. We won't be a part of it anymore. And I told you that Axios put out a piece asking some of the front runners about some of the things that they were willing to walk away from, in essence, considering the compromise. And biology about sex, men and women bathrooms, most, but they're not dropping it entirely. Open borders, they're going to drop. Defunding the police, dropping it. Climate change, partial drop. No more Green New Deal. They'll just tone it down, they said. Race-baiting policies, they're going to bounce from that. They don't want any more. Late-term abortion won't touch. I'm sorry. That is their sacrament. Socialism, no, they can't. No, because redistribution is who they are. Just who they are. COVID lockdowns, they admit it. They say, yep, we went too far. But one of the front runners may have a bigger problem on their hands. He is one of the favorites. He is their most attractive candidate. He is California Governor Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom, if indeed he comes out as the front runner, the thing that will do him in will be his wife. Oh, yes, it will be. His wife will be his ruin because she just can't be quiet. Now, I know there's some ladies out there saying, what you mean, Reese, she should be quiet? Well, if you listen to her, some of you ladies might agree. Perhaps she should not speak so much. Like in this case, where she says, if women were at the table when the tech companies were designed, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if women were at the table when all of these were invented, how different it would be.
Look at tech at Silicon Valley. Had more women been early on in those companies or at the tables of power making decisions, I don't think we would have so much or have allowed for so much sort of bigotry, racism, misogyny, and hate online. I don't think that we would have the anonymity of it. I think that there would have been ooh, that's unkind. That's not okay. You can't make money off of that, about dividing people, misinforming people, belittling people, bullying people. I mean, again, think about who's the victims online more often than not. It's women, LGBTQ+, marginalized communities, women of color.
Yeah. See, she's not abandoning any of that craziness that Democrats clearly are trying to get as far away from that they can. They also want to regulate masculinity. That's right. Jennifer Newsom says that her and her husband were confronted with their own son, who thought that Andrew Tate was cool. But not just that Andrew Tate was cool, but that it scared them into believing they've got to do something about boys who might like people like Andrew Tate.
We all know, I think, or increasingly are realizing that boys are moving away from sort of the more progressive. Boys that spend time online are moving a little bit, I'm trying not to be political here, but are moving to the right and being sort of influenced by the Andrew Tates and some of that sort of alt-right socialization online that we know is very, very dangerous.
Look how dangerous it is. It's dangerous. It's dangerous that masculinity is coming around.
My husband and I were alarmed when our kids were watching sports online and my son knew about Andrew Tate and thought he was pretty cool and thought that his Republican grandfather, who's not a Trumper but a fiscal conservative, thought that my father would like Andrew Tate. So that's scary. We're like one of the most progressive households, and our son is confused and asking all these questions. We're working on legislation to hold tech companies accountable and help them be a force for good in our kids and families' lives. To really provide all the best in class resources and support for youth so that they don't go down this rabbit hole of very, very dangerous and limiting narratives around ultimately what it means to be a girl and what it means to be a boy. The Gov and I, we have 3 more years. We're trying to institutionalize our values so that they carry on beyond our term.
That's right. They want to institutionalize their values. They are going to be the people who implement their values on to you. That's right. Ladies, huh? Let her keep talking, huh? Sure. Let's go one more. This one is a fantastic one. She says she wants more people more woke.
We're all on a spectrum, right? It's just how society kind of pushes us and pressures us into these limiting gender roles. But again, the folks on the far right, they're missing is just this, they're living in this silo, this evangelical conservative silo that ultimately it's just pulling us back as a country to a time and a place where we don't deserve to be, and we're not going to be, because honestly, young women and fathers of daughters are awake now and they're woke, and they're not going to let us go back. And so I have so much hope because of that. And obviously California has a huge responsibility to lead.
Yeah, because they're woke and they're going to stay woke because we're woke and everybody's woke. You guys want more of this? Yes. You think Gavin Newsom's going to win with this platform with the wife? I doubt it. There comes a time when he's going to have to go, sweetie, I love you. But you gotta shut up. He's just going to have to do it. He's just going to have to look. He's like, yeah, look, you're a very attractive woman, and I think people will enjoy you, But you're going to kill us. You're going to kill our campaign. Okay? You keep talking about this woke stuff in the LGBTQ community, and, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I'm going to need you to stop it. Absolutely. He's trying to run away from the woke stuff. He's telling everybody, He's telling everybody, my kids love Charlie Kirk. Yeah, my kids love wrestling. My kids love MMA. And the wife's sitting up there going, this is very dangerous. This is very dangerous. We need to regulate this. That woman's going to implement policy at the White House. Come on, ladies. I know you're saying to yourself, we're going to need you to be quiet. But that's what they're pushing. Good luck with her. Good luck. You Democrats. I want to know what the Democrat men think of her. That's what I want to know. I want to know what they think of her, if they even like her. Michael A. says, does the whole family all do the hand gesture thing? That kind of rubs off on people. They're around each other all the time. They communicate the same way. That's just the way. If you looked at Jennifer Newsom, she kind of looks like Gavin. They've been around each other so long that they're kind of, identical twins in a weird way. It's, again, I want more of this woman talking. Some of you are going to say, I don't think I can do it. Yeah, I really want this woman to keep talking. I want her to be the moral authority of her party. I want to see the women backing her. I want to see them all dressing like her. Susie Homemaker and all. I want it. TJ says she sounds crazy. This is the reason why I want more of it. Yes, because she sounds crazy. We need to encourage this. We should make sure that every Democrat marries a woman just like her. And they're all coming out of the woodwork, talking about stuff they know nothing about. Anyway, this is going to be great to watch. It is, for me at least. It'll be fantastic. When we come back, what else do I have? Oh, we have, I want to tell you about our guest that's coming in tomorrow, Gwen Samuel, and I do believe Shamika's coming with her. I want to make sure of that as well. I don't know for certain, but they should be here tomorrow at 4 o'clock, so I can talk to them. And this is in relation to the Capital Prep School and Matt Lesser, them trying to get him off the Black and Puerto Rico. Sorry. I almost got through it. Without laughing. Sorry. Matt Lesser is in the Black and Puerto Rican caucus. Yeah, we're going to talk to them about removing him from that. Why does that make me laugh? It completely tickles me. Anyway, before they get here, when we get back, I'm going to read to you this incredible stat that I have in my hands, because this is going to be an important part of my conversation with these ladies tomorrow and with the African-American community here in the state of Connecticut, is that they're being ignored. And I was talking to someone earlier today, and do I have time? No, I've got to go to a break. When we come back in the next break, I'm going to read something that I looked up. And it's very important as it relates to Democrat policies, Democrats in Connecticut, and minority communities here in the state. Stand by for that. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home because he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Reese. Thank you very much. This traffic report is being brought to you by Whittlesey. And if you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, you've got delays 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. If you are traveling 291 384, that looks good east of the river. No problems in the Glastonbury 2 eastbound. 9 north and southbound a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading into the Cheshire area, westbound 84 691 to the 84 west ramp, that's 8B. That's a little slow there. And southbound on the Parkway, you'll see some slow traffic in Hamden, 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at wadvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Windy the rest of this afternoon, with clouds and occasional sunshine, along with a passing shower or two. High 52 degrees. Still breezy through early tonight. Otherwise, tonight, clear to at times partly cloudy and colder. Bundle up, but it feel like winter again with a low of 26 degrees. Tomorrow, bright and sunny. Remaining cool, but not as windy as today. High 52. The clear, cold weather tomorrow night. Low 29. So again, most areas will drop below freezing. Temperatures will begin to moderate starting with Thursday. Mostly sunny and breezy, high 57. Breezy and warmer on Friday. Sunshine mixing with some clouds. Friday's high reaching 68 degrees. Heading into the weekend, breezy on Saturday, clouds to start, some sunshine. For Saturday afternoon, high 64 degrees. Sunday looks nice, plenty of sunshine with an afternoon high of 63. Heading into next week, breezy and warmer. Partly sunny on Monday with a high up to 74 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Malfunctioning hydrants being blamed in part for a delay in battling a house fire overnight in Waterbury. Officials say 2 hydrants provided insufficient pressure when firefighters first arrived to attack that fire on Bennett Street. They wound up having to lay several hundred yards of extra hose to hook up to hydrants over on Fairfield Avenue. The mayor says city hydrants will be tested going forward. Mayor Paul Pernaruski says it's been a decade or so since pressure testing was conducted on city hydrants. No national championship for UConn this year. The men's basketball team fell short in Indiana, bowing to Michigan Monday night 69-63. It was UConn's first loss in a national championship tilt after 6 consecutive wins in the final. Police in North Haven, they have arrested a man for allegedly pointing a BB gun at kids on Monday. Officers dispatched to Spring Road. They say 60-year-old Galen Thibodeau threatened the juveniles who were riding e-bikes. 2.5 hours to go before that deadline that President Trump laid to Iran to either agree to a peace deal and open the Strait of Hormuz, or the country's power grid and bridges would be taken out, although there's late word that some progress could be made with Pakistan mediating or helping to mediate the situation. Former Wesleyan University student is facing voyeurism charges. Middletown police say 19-year-old Samuel Schumann photographed over a dozen female students in bathrooms on campus last fall. He faces 31 counts in all. And the Artemis II astronauts have completed their record-breaking trip around the moon. The lunar journey comes after Artemis II surpassed Apollo 13's distance record. During the flyby, the 3 Americans and 1 Canadian were treated to never-before-seen views of the moon's far side by eye, and also a solar eclipse, and they are now on their way back home to Earth. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 85 points today. The NASDAQ gained 21, and the S&P picked up 5 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify. qualify.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
You ain't even right. I swear to you. We're back. It's Reese on the radio right here. I don't have my phone with me, but you know what? Screw it. I can wing it. Folks, you want to be a part of the WTIC 11th Commandment Republican gubernatorial debate. Well, guess what, folks? You can. You go to WTIC.com. Log on to WTIC.com. Go to more and go to contest. You go there. You fill out that form, and you and a guest, if you win, you will be a guest at the debate, which will be at the Ballroom at Stadium 15. Ballroom at Stadium 15 in Farmington, Connecticut on April 30th. You got to go online, the WTIC.com, so you can enter to win, and you could be there. Myself, Brian Shackman, also Morgan Cunningham. We will all be there. We'll be the moderators. Betsy McCoy will be there. Ryan Fazio will be there. And then you could be there. This is brought to you by AARP Connecticut, our proud sponsor of this event on April 30th. But in order to get in, you've got to go online. WTIC.com. Go to more, go to contest, and fill out the application so you could be a part of it. Okay? We'll be promoting that all day, every day, everywhere, so you could be a part of it. And, of course, we'll hang out, and do all that good stuff. And there's a restaurant right next door, Stadium 15, if you want to eat afterwards, or even eat before to go there. So I'll be there. A whole bunch of stuff. When we get back from the program, from the break, I should say, I want to talk about this list that I got and about Connecticut as it relates to poverty in the state. And this is important because this election is coming up. And Lamont is on the hook for all of this. And he was in Farmington, I think, today, and he's been walking. He's been around a lot of places. I've showed up at a few. I think they're pushing their scheduling back, Roland. They made the press conference today at 1:30. Everything else they were doing at 11 and 12 o'clock, now they're doing 1:30. Somebody got wind that I was going to be there, and now they're doing it later. So I don't show up and ask the tough questions. I'm on to you, people. Don't worry, Reese will be there. We will be there. We'll talk about all that and much, much more. Stand by. This breakdown of these numbers will astonish you, especially those in the African American community, and why the tides are shifting when it comes to elections. These are really, really crazy numbers. All right, we'll get into that, and then we'll wrap the show up. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Our good friend Mark Christopher is back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. It looks pretty good around Hartford right now. 91 southbound. Look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and another minor slowdown down by exit 28. Hartford Weathersfield line. 84 eastbound is tied up about a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge with 84 west and East Hartford. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 southbound's a little tight at the Aragoni Bridge. Westbound 84 into Waterbury slows approaching approaching the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays 51 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound's a little slow as you move 46 out to exit 44 in New Haven. And look out for an accident now on the northbound side of I-91. It looks like it's between exit 9 and 10, so it's got some slow traffic there pushing back toward exit 9 behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Cold night coming up, a gusty breeze and partly cloudy as we start this evening. Mostly clear for the overnight. A low temperature 26, feeling like winter once again. Bright and sunny tomorrow, high 52. Clear and very chilly again tomorrow night, low 29. Mostly sunny on Thursday, breezy, not as chilly, high 57 Thursday afternoon. And a little warmer on Friday. Sunshine keeping way to clouds, becoming breezy, and a high is 68. It's currently 43 degrees in Manchester. It's 45 in Windsor and 44 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummies. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM. Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
During the break when, what's his name? John Silva was doing the news. I was forced to say giggity because he said that the firefighters needed to lay down more hose. And that's because of Roseanne. She influences me. She keeps doing that silliness every time somebody says it. It was like, firefighters. As soon as John Silva said it, firefighters had to lay down more hose. And I went, giggity. I'm so infantile. I don't even know why I did it. I felt silly after I did it, and I have no idea I still did it. I didn't have to tell you. I'm embarrassed. I'm such a child. It's just such a child.
Ain't no need to feel ashamed, Reese.
Everybody did it, right?
We've all been there.
I have no idea why I did.
They say when you start to get to be together for so long,
yeah,
you become one.
Yes. As I was just mentioning with the Newsomes. You know, sort of finishing each other's sentences and taking on their characteristics. But this is what she would do all the time. She was like, that's what she said. She does that all the time. I have to look at her and I just go, what are you, 7? Stop that. And now I'm doing it. So as John Silver said it. Twice today he said it. And I went, giggity. I have no idea what's wrong with me. I have to stop. Anyway, thank you for that. I feel very embarrassed. I'll get to the phones in a second. So I looked this up, and this is wild. This is the headline. Key major cities with large black population, focusing on those with significant percentages or absolute numbers, typically over 30 to 40% black or top absolute black cities of 100,000 or more. These are the cities: Detroit, Memphis, Baltimore, Birmingham, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, Cleveland, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Chicago, Washington, D.C. Other notable cities are St. Louis, Missouri, Montgomery, Richmond, Newark, and Oakland. What do every one of these cities have in common? Well, they have this. They are Democrat strongholds. They are. Detroit, longtime Democrat stronghold. Current mayor, Mike Dugan. Memphis, Tennessee, 60 to 65% black. Democrat mayor, Paul Young. Baltimore, Maryland, Brandon Scott, Democrat mayor. Birmingham, Alabama. Democrat leadership struggles with poverty and crime, economic stagnation, despite being in a Republican state. Jackson, Mississippi, Democrat mayor, Chokwe Antar Lumumba. Interesting name. New Orleans, 59 to 60% black. Helena Moreno, Democrat mayor. Cleveland, Ohio, Democrat mayor. Atlanta, Georgia, Democrat mayor, Andre Dickens. Philadelphia, Democrat mayor. Female even. Chicago, Illinois, Brandon Johnson. Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser. St. Louis, Missouri, Democrat. Montgomery, Alabama, Democrat. Richmond, Virginia, Democrat. Newark, New Jersey, Democrat. Oakland, California, Democrat. All of them. Now, why am I bringing that up? As I've stated on this program before, ask any civil rights person, ask any blogger, or your run-of-the-mill individual of the African-American community, what they will tell you is systemic racism is in America. And I believe that if indeed there is systemic racism, it has to happen where you live, right? It's got to happen in the places you roam the most. If you live in a city, when you go to the store, it's where you shop, it's where you work. It's not like you work on the other side of the state. You usually work where you live. That's reasonable. Unless you commute, out of the state. But generally, people who work and live, it's in the cities that they dwell. And if your city is a Democrat city and you vote in elections for Democrats, you are voting for your very own systemic racism. It's homegrown. You vote for the systemic racist. You do, or you don't. You haven't voted for any Republicans. Republicans play no role in your Democrat city that you are suffering from systemic racism. You suffering systemic racism in the police department? Well, you have a Democrat mayor, don't you? They're in charge. Right? They're not hiring you at the job? Well, the place where you work, is that Democrat run? That's funny. It's obvious that those people who you wish to be employed with, they vote for the same Democrat you do, right? That's funny how all of you can be voting for the same systemic racism that keeps you systemically behind the eight ball. How's that possible? And people tell me that they're voting for the lesser of two evil, but you're still voting for evil. And you've only voted for the same evil you've had for 60 years. Some 70. And when you vote for the lesser of two evil, that means that you've at least experienced the other evil. I asked the person today, what's worse, kale or collard greens? You say, I haven't had either. How do you know then? If Democrats are the only thing you vote for, but you know that they're the lesser of two evils, it at least would have to say, well, I experienced what it's like to have Republicans in control in my city, and they were horrible, so the Democrats don't give me that much guff. But if you've never voted for a Republican, there's no way for you to say the lesser of two evils. You've had to at least try both of them. And if you haven't for the last 60 years, you're not voting for the lesser of two evils. It's impossible, virtually impossible for you to do so. You have to have had both. And so I looked this up because the same person who keeps saying this nonsense clearly does not understand the English language. I looked into it and I asked a simple question. Has the Democrat Party improved the livelihood of African Americans in the state? No. The answer was no. It has gotten progressively worse under Democrat supermajority leadership. More and more people are behind. More and more people are struggling. More and more people are on the dole. More and more people are failing. More and more. Supermajority. They have everything. No one to stop them. Everything that they implement goes straight through. And people's lives have gotten worse. So how can you possibly scream the lesser of two evil when the so-called other evil has never even received a shot? You won't even give them a shot. You're voting for your own demise. But then again, that's because we're not willing to say the truth. And that is, the people who say that they're voting for the lesser of two evils are too stupid to know that you have to try two in order to know which one is less evil. Maybe that's the thing. But if you're not stupid, maybe this November you'll think about it. I'll go back to 2008, and I'll use your own reasoning. Back in 2008, I said to a lot of people, why are you voting for Barack Obama? And many people told me, well, we've had white presidents all this time. I figured it was time to let a black guy do it and see what happens. I said, oh, so it's an experiment to you. And they said, yeah, it's time to give a black guy a chance. Well, let's have it, folks. How about we give a Republican a chance? We've had a Democrat for a lot of years, and they've been a supermajority, and things got worse. You're no happier than you were before. Test scores failing, poverty on the rise, businesses leaving. So, if you're in the experimental mood, why not give it another go? Just saying. Let's go to Steve. How you doing, big guy?
Hey, Steve from the Silver City, formerly the Bridge to Nowhere. I got something for you.
What do you got?
Here it is.
Oh, you got a song for me.
Listen to the words.
Is this my guy?
Richard Penniman. Slipping and sliding. You were talking about it at 5 after 5.
I sure enough was. Thank you.
I had to put it on. You should see me go through my pile of records. It's been a long time ago. I've been told that you've been told.
You have got like every record I could possibly think of, Steve. I got to tell you, I love every bit of it.
It starts with Johnny Ace in 1955. It goes to the Platters. I mean, we didn't care about color back then. It was who was the singer and listen to the words.
Hey, exactly right. Is that a great song and can I dance to it, right?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, you can really go on that son of a gun, I'll tell you. And we used to go up to a state theater in Hartford and see all these shows live, you know? It's like, I think I told you before, but they're right at my fingertips. I got almost every record of every...
I see. Listen, I haven't been able to stump you once. God bless you.
Well, the next one I'm going to play for you is called Dearest by Mickey and Sylvia. That's for you and... Roseanne, maybe when I get a chance.
Give me another shout later on in the week. I'd appreciate it, Stevie. Thank you, man.
Yeah, you do something on Friday about music. Maybe I'll do it Friday.
You got it, sir. Thank you.
Catch you later, brother.
You got it. Is this Stevie V? Is Stevie V on the line? What's up, buddy?
It is. Hey, what was that mayor's name that you couldn't pronounce?
Mayor Arunin?
Arunin? I thought it was something longer than that.
Oh, no. Which? Oh, the mayor. Okay, that was on the list. Hold on. I'll get to it. Oh, yeah. It's Chakwi Antar Lumumba.
Wasn't that person in the Tarzan movie?
Yeah, he's the mayor out of Jackson, Mississippi. I've never heard of this person. I don't even know what they look like. Yeah.
Hey, that young gentleman you had on the other day, I didn't get a chance to hear him.
TJ Duarte.
If you have a chance and you have a spot available, maybe you could invite him to that event at Station 15.
Oh, no, he is coming. I mentioned it.
Oh, he is? Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
TJ will be there. TJ will be there to meet everybody, and he's doing a segment here on the program called Future So Bright, which I'm going to start in, I think, just after the debate. We're going to bring him in. In fact, I got lunch with him this afternoon where we're going to sort of break down exactly how we're going to do it.
Okay, and just to touch base on all the people voting for Democrats. First of all, you mentioned Barack Obama. He was half white. I think they should have just built a half court for the basketball court. That being the case, yeah,
you ain't even right.
I honestly think that these Democrats mostly say one thing and behind doors or say what they really think.
I believe you. I've said it before, Stevie V. These people, everything that they do is performative. When they get home, they are nothing like that. I tell you, my friend who I speak to all the time, I say, come on, man, you don't really believe in this. He goes, well, of course, I can't. I can't agree with any of that stuff, but I can't support anybody else. And he's just diehard. He's a diehard leftist, and he does that. It's all performative in public, but then when he gets behind the scenes, he is absolutely against what his party stands for.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but this tax the rich, that's just a talking point that's never going to happen. And the Democrats like the rich just as much as the Republicans do.
Yes, they do. Thank you, Stevie.
Adios.
All right, buddy. Another great show. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate that. I don't care about the red or blue or Democrat, Republican, conservative. Oh, never mind. Who's got the policy that sticks? Agreed, 100% there, 25, or 25th, as I like to say. You're 100% right on that, and I agree with it. I've never, unfortunately, the way that things are now, we rarely ever see anyone who is middle of the road. I had this conversation with Kevin Meggett. He said, I think I'm down the middle. I'm an independent. I was like, tell me where you are conservative. And it took a long time for him to figure it out. I actually had to help him figure out where he was conservative. When you say that you're an independent or you're in the middle of the road, you should be able to know where your conservative leanings are. It should be easy. When they can't, they're Democrats. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. It's true, but it just is. You should be able to tick off that stuff. If you really are who you are, you should be able to tick that off easily. Like I said, tomorrow, Gwen Samuel will be here. Our guest tomorrow. We'll talk about Matt Lesser and, of course, the Capital Prep School and what's going on there. She'll be our guest at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so you be here as well. Thank you again to Linda Szynkowicz. Make sure you check her out at fightvoterfraud.org. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning. So plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 2 o'clock on the dot. Mark Christopher is getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Hey, good night, Reese. And if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91, got some slow traffic at 32 A and B. If you're traveling on the northbound side of 91, look out for an accident.